You don't offend me, you don't
Yes,
scare me.
no matter how much makeup you wear, how fat you are, no matter how insufferable you are, you're still great. Slay. All right, you're good. Who's up next? Yes, okay. Hey, I will say this, you got fatter since last time. Might want to exercise a little bit. I know school just started, the gyms are probably open.
I'm not here to listen. If you are asking me to listen, so you should listen as well.
Yeah, we should get Muhammad out here.
Nobody watches WNBA. WNBA wouldn't be a thing, right?
Yeah, it's subsidized, bro. Do you not realize it's negative? Every year, it loses money?
If it loses money every year, it wouldn't be smart to keep it running, right? But it's
You're right. You're right. See, that's why you're Asian. You're smart. Notice how the guys are able to control themselves and they wait their turn. Then the women are just yelling in the background, etc. Get her a spatula somewhere.
Do we need to bring some sort of Sharia law to America to get our women back in check?
What's up, guys? Welcome. I think I'm here somewhere in South Carolina, right? Columbia, South Carolina. I think that's where we're at right now. USC. Myron Gaines, one half of the Fresh and Fit podcast, a.k.a. the most misogynistic, anti-Semitic. I'm just kidding. So here are just some of my positions, I guess, that I can give you guys, both politically and culturally, so you guys have an idea of where I stand. Number one, women are dumb. They need to be second-class citizens. Blacks are crooks. Jews run America. Indians stink. Chinese are good with math. Trans should be in asylums and away from guns and away from our kids. Gays should not be able to adopt children. And Title IX is a scam. So my first topic here is trans should be in asylums. I mean, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. We saw what happened tragically in Minneapolis. Individual thought it was a good idea to open fire on innocent children. And this isn't the first time that we've had these crazies do this. This also happened earlier up in Tennessee. And I think we need to have a serious discussion on trans people, mental illness, and them not being able to procure firearms. You know, men and women are different. We're biologically different. And if you try to take a guy and tell him that he's a woman or he feels like he's a woman, something is wrong with him. So I think that creates a lot of issues for us as a society, and we need to stop cucking ourselves and thinking, oh, let's go ahead and just, he feels like he's a woman, so let's treat him like he's a woman. And then he goes ahead and plays in female sports and smashes all the girls because they suck. So it's like, for all the feminists that are mad at me, you guys should agree with me on this one at least, because I'm protecting female sports even though it's useless. So I do think that women should have the ability to play sports and everything, but let's not be delusional here and think that it's the same as male sports or that it's entertaining. Nobody shows up to WNBA games. The NBA has to subsidize it. And, well, look, they're saying, oh, bro, we show up.
First off, why are you talking shit about our women's basketball team? Because you don't know how to play basketball.
That's your argument?
And why are you talking shit about women with people with disabilities? Because both people with disabilities have sports with issues. So why are you talking shit about that? So what's your problem?
So what's your main grievance? Is it about women's sports and basketball or disabilities?
Both.
Okay, well, for the basketball thing, women...
Wait, let me finish talking.
Oh, wow, okay.
So what about you? What's your disability? Do you have any disabilities?
I have a high tolerance for stupid people talking to me. I'd say that's a disability.
Disability, sir, because you're racist. Thank you very much.
That was a good one. Ask a bunch of questions and walk away. Makes sense. Perfect.
Hello.
There you go, guys. Prove my point right there, man.
Hello.
Women can't control themselves. Go ahead.
I have a cool talent. If you give me any random date and year, I could tell you the exact day of the week you were born on.
Say that again? Any random what? His
Like-
mic is down. I can't hear him.
Like, when's your birth?
Yeah, you got to talk closer to the mic. I can barely hear you. Go ahead.
Like, when's your birthday and year, and I could tell you the exact day of the week you were born on.
Okay, you're like a numerologist or something, or?
I'm a human calendar. I'm a savant. Like, when's your birthday and year, and I can tell you the exact day of the week you were born on. Trust me.
Do you need what is it? The day in the year?
Yeah, the day and the year.
Yeah, April 20th, 1990.
April 20th, 1990 is a Wednesday.
Oh, okay, great. No, you had it right.
Wait,
420.
Wait, April 20th, 1990? No, that wasn't a Wednesday. That was a Friday.
Okay, all right. It's a Friday. There you go. Okay, who's up next? Any other astrology people or numerologists or something? What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I just have one quick question. What's
Sure.
your bench?
What's a what?
What's your bench?
What's my what?
Bench. Like
Oh,
your
what's
one
my
rep
bench?
max.
I don't know, man. I haven't benched in a while. I do mostly calisthenics.
What's calisthenics? How many pull-ups can you do?
Between 15 and 20.
That's solid.
Yeah.
250? No!
250. Yeah, I do mostly calisthenics nowadays, man. I'm getting old. Actually, we were talking about that on the way here.
Hey, how you doing?
What's up, man? How are you?
What are your thoughts on Peter Thiel and J.D. Vance next election?
Well, Peter Thiel is quite literally a cocksucker. And I think that he's ushering in a very dangerous future for us. You know, the guy is literally behind the software, him and Alex Karp, that's killing a bunch of innocent children all across Gaza. So, yeah, I think having a bunch of technocrats in positions of power can be quite problematic for our future.
So you said that.
And as far as J.D. Vance, like his background is very shady.
So you said that transgender shouldn't be allowed to have guns, correct?
Yes.
But don't you think it's a slippery slope, and eventually that might be tyrannical overreach? That the government might ban like more people from having guns?
That's a totally good argument. We already have that though, because we already have under 18 USC 922, which is what the federal agencies arrest people for whenever they're a prohibited person. We already have a bunch of different classes of people that can't have guns, and I think we need to put trans people in that classification.
But like.
Under the mental illness.
But wouldn't they just put more people? Like, couldn't they consider people based off certain political views mentally ill? And wouldn't that just start making to where eventually no one can have guns?
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely make that argument, but I think it's pretty distinct that people that are transsexual need to definitely be put in there. I mean, if you have a certain political ideology, that could be on a case-by-case basis, but I think when it comes to trans, it's pretty obvious that there's something wrong there with them mentally.
All right.
No worries. Anybody else? Anybody else? I know we got some people that just walked in. Can go through some of my positions again. Number one, women are dumb. Blacks are crooks. Jews run America. Indians smell. Chinese are good at math. Trans should be in asylums and away from guns. Title IX is a scam, and female sports is a waste of time. I know that you guys said something about, someone was complaining about you guys have a good female sports basketball team or something like that. So, I mean, that's great and all, but it's like, female sports is kind of like, you have a kid, right? Like, let's say you got a kid or like a cousin or something, like a little cousin. He gives you like a painting that's all crappy and it sucks and it's like finger painting or whatever. And they give it to you and you're like, oh, thank you. And you like frame it or whatever more because like you love them. No, not necessarily because the art is good. That's like female sports. Like you're there because it's like, okay, I go to school here. I like this girl or I like this person. I'm here to show support. But like realistically speaking, you're not there because it's like actually good. You're there as like moral support. That's like what women's sports is kind of. Because the reality is, we would just, if they were so good, they would compete with the men, but they can't do that. So, and I also find it interesting how we'll sit here and we'll subsidize female sports, right? Even though it's like negative, doesn't make money, it's completely an L. But like we would never do that for male sports. Like if the NBA for some weird reason was like negative and didn't produce any type of profit, we would get rid of it. We would completely, it would be disbanded. But like for the WNBA, we allow it to keep going, even though it's a money sink because of feelings, right? This kind of comes back to my whole concept of, we make separate standards for women while simultaneously watering down the entire industry. I'll give you another example. I don't think women should be in law enforcement, especially in positions where they're going to have to be hands-on, right? Because I could tell you someone that used to work in law enforcement, and anyone here that works in law enforcement knows you have a female backup, it's like, damn, you're pretty much on your own. Because they just don't have the same physical capacity to take down a suspect or enforce an arrest properly. And a lot of the times their ineptitude will put you in danger. They're more likely to shoot. They're more likely to escalate because they don't have the physical strength to subdue a person or a suspect. And it creates a lot of issues. So that's another example. Military as well. What's up, man? Your mic is...
Is it good now? Okay.
Yeah, it should be. You got to talk real close to it, though, because...
Yeah. I can hear it now. All right. So last time you were here, I asked you about your sympathies for the Nazi Party. Would you mind elaborating on, like, why you believe the Nazis are a good thing?
Well, the thing is, you want to... We just started the stream up, right? Yeah, because we just started this thing. Look, we'll do that at the end. We'll do that at the end.
Does anyone else have a question, or would they like to hear the answer?
Well, we'll do it at the, because here's the thing is we're streaming right now. I have no problem talking about this topic, But we're streaming right now.
But
so
you have no problem
that's why.
addressing it. You should have no problem addressing it in public, right?
Well,
you've said it on
I've
your
talked about it
podcast
publicly a bunch of
before.
times. We're live on a bunch of different platforms that have user guidelines, which in itself should tell you kind of the world that we live in where censorship is extremely heavy. So,
well, I mean, you're a free speech warrior, right?
I
So
am,
what does it matter
absolutely,
that
but
there
we're
are
on
these-
platforms that don't respect free speech, unfortunately.
So this
like
is all
YouTube,
about just
etc.
monetization then, right?
No, actually, no, I'm demonetized for talking about this stuff. It's more about getting the
Okay, then
information
talk
out
about
there.
it. Why not talk
but
about
again,
it?
like I said before, we'll definitely talk about it, but we literally just started the stream. Don't want to fucking get the thing canceled right now. So we'll have
Okay.
that discussion. I'm happy to have it. We're here till 3, man. We're here till 3.
Yeah, nice. I'm glad you can get that bag, but just so everyone's aware, he will not, for the second time in a row, address the question of
We
why
just
he-
started up the stream, dude, and we're on another guy's stuff. I'm not going to ruin someone else's platform, okay?
I mean, I'm really sorry for him, but like, you're not
No,
really
no,
free
it's
speech warrior,
fine.
man.
We're here till 3. If you're so brave about it, come back. We have this discussion at the end.
Sure, man.
Because like you always come in the middle of the stream. Like, come at the end and we can discuss it. I have no problem talking about it. No, you definitely did. You came in the middle last time as well. You did the same thing. You came in the middle last time as well. But we'll have that discussion. No problem. Never said I love them, but that's fine. You can mischaracterize my position. They lied. I'll tell you this. There's a lot of lies World War II for a bunch of different reasons. It's a non-statement. Okay. Yeah, and you're a pussy. And you're a pussy. Well, no, come back again. We'll have that discussion at the end. Come back again. You always come in the middle trying to sabotage. I know what you're trying to do, bro.
Hell yeah.
Because he did the same exact shit last time.
Stand where?
And at the end of the day, we're on people's platforms that aren't mine, so I don't want to ruin what they got because of my political views. What's up, man?
Oh.
But we can have it at the end. We'll have that discussion at the end, for sure. We'll cut to Rumble and we'll fucking go all in. What's up?
All right. So you said blacks are crooks. What that mean? Where that come from? What type of sense that make? Look at me.
So I don't want to live in a predominantly black neighborhood.
You see where I live at?
Yeah, it's mostly white people.
Yeah, hell yeah. But
Yeah.
still.
So I think me and you agree on that one.
No, that don't mean blacks are crooks though. It's black people here that's great people. I mean, it's
Yeah,
hella
sure.
me.
But I don't want to live in a black majority neighborhood.
That don't mean they crooks. You ain't.
Well,
you ain't
the reason why is
about the
because
real
it's high
business,
crime
though.
areas 9 out of 10 times.
Damn right. But you'll survive. You'll be
What was
all
that?
right. You're dead right. In certain areas like Chicago or some shit, but we ain't
Yeah.
in Chicago. Niggas ain't finna just shoot you for no reason out here.
Hey, you mean here or where?
Yes, here in Columbia. They not
Yeah,
finna
yeah,
just
but like
shoot
no,
you.
bro. Like I'm not trying to be like black majority neighborhoods tend to be high crime, and I don't want to be there. And I know you don't want to be there either. That's why you're here, right?
Nah,
Because you're not at
actually-
Howard for a reason, right? So,
I just went here because I like USC.
well, you're speaking really, bro. You got to talk into my. I
like
can barely
Columbia.
hear you.
I like USC Columbia. That's
Yeah,
why
well, I
came.
don't blame you. It's good breakdown here.
Yeah.
Ratio.
But like whenever you say blacks are crooks, you gotta like give a point and some specific like truths to it. Cause you just said blacks are crooks and then high crime rate.
Yeah, they're a minority of the
that's about
population,
that's
yet they
about
commit
it.
a
That's all
majority
you
of the
got?
violent crime.
Okay,
Simple as that, yeah. Like what, 13% of the population, and then the men are like about 6%, and then
That's
they're
also a
committing something like 50% of the violent crime.
That's also a result.
That's a problem.
That's also a result of where they are and what they're in and what the government do to them and how they feel. Because you got to think about it, they on government assistance. They sitting here in the hood and they think the only way out is to sell some drugs and shoot some guns. But that's not the truth. You can go to university still.
Well, that just removes
They just don't know
accountability. That just removes accountability from black people.
It's because there's less opportunity.
Well, that's not an excuse. There's plenty of people that grow up poor that are able to make something themselves
Damn
without being
right.
criminals.
Look, it's people that can do it, but the fact that they have to fight and instead of just being white and being born white and just come to school, come to USC and be great, you can't just do that as a nigga. It's not gonna happen.
I would argue that you have more opportunities as a black person as a white guy nowadays.
You a damn lie.
No, that's the truth.
Boy, you a damn lie. You know that.
No.
You know that.
So
Boy.
I can talk about that. So here's the thing, bro. With DEI, affirmative action, etc., like we've absolutely made it where minorities and women have far more opportunities than white guys. That's the truth. So
because they don't need no help. They got it already. They got it as soon as they was popped out the coochie.
Well, here's the thing. Look, if we're going to go off of meritocracy, that's cool, but we don't go off meritocracy. We go off of, we want to go ahead and fill quotas so that we can have a diverse workplace. And then what ends up happening is you have a bunch of people that aren't qualified for the job or not as good because we want to bring them in to diversify the workplace. I think that's a big problem.
That
I think
ain't
we need to
black
go off
people.
meritocracy.
That's the women thing. That's the women thing. That's not black people. Stay on the black people topic.
Yeah, a lot of black people are on some bullshit, and they get into
I do my
schools or
job.
they
I
get into
get shit
positions,
done.
and they shouldn't be in there, but they end up coming in somehow because they get accepted with lower test scores. They
And
get
they'll
accepted
fail.
because of certain opportunities where they're like, we need
And
to
if they
accept this
aren't
amount of
qualified,
kids
they will
into
fail.
our school to fit this quota. So it waters down the entire environment.
But if they aren't qualified, they will fail.
What was that?
If they aren't qualified, they will fail the course, no matter if they get in or not.
No, they get in with lower test scores.
Yeah,
my
and
point.
they get in and fail if they aren't qualified.
But the
for
point
it,
is they took that position from someone else that wouldn't have failed if they got in. So they get an
bad.
opportunity that they never deserved in the first place. That proves my point.
I
They
don't
get in,
think
they
so.
fail. They shouldn't have been there.
Yeah, exactly. They failed. They just ain't make it. They not.
But they
good
took.
enough.
You don't understand. For them to get that spot,
It's
they
an
displaced
example.
someone else
That's
that
one
was
person.
qualified.
You talking about some small couple people that get in.
Oh,
and
now
not
small
supposed to
couple
be there.
people.
Cause I'm a person that done got there for a reason. You feel me? So whenever you somebody that got there for a reason, it's a difference between somebody that just got there because they black. I got here because I did my job. I did my work. I ain't get here because I'm black. I ain't get here because I'm black. So they like, oh, black people let the black nigga in.
All right. So
they
then,
let
if
me
you
in 'cause
got
I got
here,
a 4.2 GPA.
if you got here based off your meritocracy. If you got here off your meritocracy, then you should be mad that they're allowing black people in that
I'm
don't
mad
have
that
the
you
same
saying
merit because that
black
makes you
people
look
in-
bad.
I'm mad that you saying black people in general ain't got it like that. Like we the ones that's crooks, so we can't just come here and do it off our own muscle. We can. It's
Okay,
just the fact
so
that certain
here's the
people
thing,
don't
bro.
ever get that opportunity.
Look. This is that victim mindset again that black people tend to have.
Yeah.
If you grow
Yeah,
up in a
talk
bad
about it.
environment, right? You can't blame everybody else for growing up in a bad environment. You can overcome and make something of yourself. But it's no one's obligation to feel sorry for you or make concessions for you to be able to get in or for them to lower their standards because you grew up in a bad neighborhood or you grew up poor. I grew up poor. I was able to figure it out, right? I grew up with brown skin. I grew up Muslim. I grew up with all the stereotypes against me, but I was able to figure it out and I didn't let that stop me. So the problem is that people will sit there and say, oh, I'm from the hood, blah, blah, blah. It's like that. You're limiting yourself.
Yeah, but they could be from the hood, and then their uncle is the goddamn big homie. They uncle OG. The OG. He gonna jump them in as soon as they turn 12. As soon as he hop off the porch, he born into this, bro. He gets stuck there. As soon as he hopped off the porch, he gone.
Who chooses if he jumps off the porch?
Yeah, but he ain't got nowhere to go after that. Once he do, at 12 years old, hey, he already in the streets. He's stuck there forever. Now,
Okay, so let me ask you this
jump
then.
his ass, kill him if he try to leave.
Let me ask you this.
Right?
Do you think black people have agency?
What?
Do black people have agency?
Oh, I don't know what that is, twin.
Bruh.
You gotta let me know.
Okay.
You gotta let me know what that is.
He said he don't know what that is. Yeah, you got the 4.0, bro. Like, come on, man.
Right, 4.2.
Yeah,
4.2.
bruh. This is why college is a scam, bro. Hold on, me. College is a scam.
Yeah, yo, like.
College is a scam, bro. So, look, we can't sit here and say, oh, they're gonna hop off the porch on one side and be like, oh my God, we gotta make all these concessions for them. And then on the other hand, be like, oh yeah, they don't have any agency. It's like, dude, you got to take accountability. It's either you're an adult and you make your own decisions, you got to live with those decisions, or not. We treat you like a second-class citizen. Last time I checked, I think MLK fought for equal rights, equal civil liberties, which means you got to deal with the responsibility that comes with that authority. What's up, man?
All right, so I believe you quoted the statistic. You said 13% of the population commits 50% of the violent crime, right?
Well, 30% of the population is black.
Right, so based off that, what conclusion would you come to based off that?
Well, you mean, sorry,
What's the conclusion that you come to based off that statistic?
a minority of the people are committing a majority of the violent crime.
Because why?
There's a multitude of different reasons.
Well, what do you believe the reason to be? Do you think
Broken homes, the lack of the father figure in the household, bad culture, elevating, drug and hip hop / gang violence and over going to school and being educated, a multitude of different reasons. It's very complex.
And because of that, you would say that, in general, you generalize that black people
Can
are
you speak
crooks.
up, bro? Guys, we got to turn up the mic for these guys because I can barely hear them. Let's turn up their mic sorry, I'm struggling to hear
That's
what you
fine.
guys are saying, so just speak up, please.
Based off that, you said that black people are crooks, right?
Yes, they tend to be, yes. Not all, but they tend to be.
So if we follow that same logic, do you know how many mass shootings there have been in the past, couple of 10 years?
How many mass shootings?
Yes.
Yeah, how many mass shootings?
It's about 3,000 or 4,000 since 2018, right?
Okay.
How many of those shootings have been perpetrated by trans people?
I know this year, or over the past 2 years, we've had 2 or 3.
It's
Nashville,
4.
this one.
It's 4 since 2018, right?
It's 4? Okay. That's
That
4
would-
too many.
Right. That would come out to about 0.1% of the population, right?
Sure.
Do you know how many people in America are trans?
How many?
About 1 or 2%.
Yeah, it's a very small percentage, yeah.
So,
I've talked about this before where I've said that people on the right wing tend to inflate the trans problem, but I still do think it's a problem, and I do think that they shouldn't have guns, and I don't think they should have the ability to adopt children either. They're a minority for sure. I see what you're saying. You're like, look, they're a minority. Why do we care? Well, they just killed 2 kids yesterday, so that's a problem. And quite frankly, I think if we can go ahead and handle this problem right now while it's still a topic, they shouldn't have guns.
So based off the logic, though, you know who commits 97% of the mass shootings in America?
Who?
Straight men.
What's that?
Straight men.
Sure.
So based off that logic, would you say that straight men are more likely to commit a mass shooting than a trans person?
Well, straight men are also the majority of the cops, the majority of the firefighters, the majority of the guys that protect this country, the majority of guys that are in our armed forces.
97% though.
Yeah, but that's true. But the reality is that they're not mentally ill. Like if you're trans, definition, you're mentally ill. Something's wrong with you. Okay, versus being a straight man, that's natural. Not the same whatsoever. Not an equal comparison whatsoever.
My point is, though, you're trying to say that trans people are more dangerous and they shouldn't have guns whenever they, per capita, commit less mass shootings than straight men, which is a per capita stat that you brought to earlier, saying that's why black people are crooks, is because 13% of them commit 50% of the violent crimes, right? So why can't you apply that same logic to straight men?
Because, again, being straight is natural. It's the way that we've been able to create this beautiful society we have now was created by straight men, right? Trans people are inherently sick. Something is wrong with them. If you cannot sit there and identify the fact that you don't know what your gender is, well, life is a lot harder than figuring that out, which bathroom you got to go to. So these are people that aren't mentally assimilable to the society, and they need to be, kind of kept out from certain privileges, such as having a gun.
Even though they commit less shootings.
And to compare them to straight men is absolutely ridiculous and
even
ludicrous.
though they commit less shootings than other groups,
and
right?
not only that, also keep in mind that 60% of trans have mental issues. 60% of them, and that's just the people that decide to actually go ahead and go see a psychiatrist. We haven't even figured out the people that don't go see a psychiatrist.
Right.
So a majority of them are already mentally ill. That disqualifies them off rip.
I don't think you're addressing my point about...
I'm definitely addressing your point. You're trying to compare trans people to straight people.
I'm comparing the numbers.
What was that?
I'm comparing the numbers.
Yeah, but the numbers need to be stemmed from somewhere. And if we're going to compare the numbers, we need to compare apples to apples, not apples to oranges. You're comparing straight heterosexual men that built the world up to where we see now, so that you can enjoy a lot of the benefits you have, like the headphones on your head, the shirt you're wearing, the buildings that we see here, to trans people that don't contribute anything to society besides mental illness, us having to call them she when it's really a he, and a bunch of other problems. They don't really contribute to society the same way that straight men do. So they're not the same whatsoever.
No, in that case, though, then the point you're coming to isn't based off any numbers or facts. It's based off the fact that you just don't like trans people.
Well, we need to have some type of nuance here and understand what we're comparing and be honest here. If we're just going to go straight off numbers and not identify apples to apples, then it's not going to make sense.
I am identifying apples as people who identify, because you believe being trans is a choice, correct?
What was that?
Do you believe being trans is a choice?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you think being straight is a choice?
What was that?
Do you think being straight is a choice?
No. I think, being straight is a choice or being gay is a choice?
Being straight.
Yeah, that's the natural way that it's supposed to be.
So everybody else who's outside of that, they're making a choice to do something else, right?
They're making a choice to be strange, yes. They're making to be a degenerate.
So my point is, though, people who identify, who are straight, who are men, right?
Yep.
They commit an over amount of the mass shootings. I don't think that straight men are more likely to commit mass shootings, but the numbers state that if you're trans, you have a lower chance of committing a mass shooting because they're 1% of the population and only commit 0.1% of the mass shootings.
Again. It's great. Like they're like, see, look
at
he's talking numbers.
The only thing that you're saying,
it's very simple, bro. It's very simple. It's very simple.
Numbers?
Straight men created the society. Okay?
You don't like numbers?
A lot of the no, it's not about the numbers. It's about, if you're gonna go ahead and compare the numbers, you got to compare the numbers where it makes sense. Okay? Comparing straight men to trans men, when trans men don't contribute to society to the same degree that straight men do. See, this is how crazy it is, right? We live in this world, right? We live in this world where people forget how society was built. We've civilized the world so much that we've forgotten how we got here in the first place. We forgot that this country was built upon the backs of heterosexual men that had a family to go back to. So it went ahead and spurred ingenuity to go ahead and create a society. To compare trans is be like, well, straight guys do X, Y, Z. Also, straight guys are the majority. There's more straight guys than there are trans people.
Right,
and trans people don't contribute to society, so they're not going to get the same level of, I'm not going to give them the same level of, oh yeah, let's go ahead and accept this bad behavior from them when they're a minority and they only create problems. Okay,
Straight
so
men
it's not
make
the
up
same
over
whatsoever.
40% of the population, and yet commit 97% of the mass shootings.
Again, but they
That's
also
over double.
but they also protect society. They also contribute to society. They're also the working force. They're also paying taxes. They're also doing all these
so
other
that's
things.
okay.
So
They're allowed to commit double the mass shootings. Is what you're saying?
well, if they're significantly more, then it only would make sense that they would commit more of the crimes if they do. But you're offsetting all the other positives that they're doing as well.
I think everybody has. I think everybody has something to offer. That's not my point. My point is based
Well,
off
what I'm
of,
saying is that trans don't offer. That's the problem. So that's why a lot of their
that's
issues
not
that
based
they
on any
bring.
facts, though. That's because you just don't like trans people.
No, it's not that I don't like them. I think that they need to be put in a certain position where they don't have certain accesses to certain things that can create problems for the rest of society, whether it's having guns, which I think is problematic in itself. I don't think felons should have guns either. I don't think illegal aliens should have guns. I don't think people that renounce their citizenship, people that got a dishonorable discharge, I think we need to put them in that category alongside all those other individuals.
Based off the fact that you just don't like them, though.
No, I don't
Because
like
they
the fact
don't-
that they have guns and that they're not mentally stable. That's what I don't like.
But they
can
don't-
exist. I don't have a problem with them existing or whatever, but if you're going to go ahead and be mentally ill, you don't get the same privileges and rights as people that are sane.
That's
Simple as that. Just like the other people, like that's by your logic. Oh yeah, you hate felons and you hate everybody else. I don't hate them. I just think that we need to have restrictions on certain people to protect the mass society. I think that how people feel,
You think being
right,
trans
versus
should be
what's
a
real are
crime?
two different things. What was that?
You think being trans should be a crime?
No, it doesn't necessarily need to be a crime, but I don't think that they should necessarily be.
Because you're lumping them in with just criminals.
What was that?
You're just lumping them in with criminals. People
No,
who are
they're mentally ill.
dishonorably
They're
discharged.
mentally ill.
Felons.
And that under federal
non-citizens
statute,
in America. You're just lumping them in with criticals and equating it to essentially.
they're
like
mentally ill.
Mentally ill people
They're mentally ill.
can't have guns. People with anxiety can have guns.
No, people that are mentally ill cannot have guns. Actually,
Some can, yes.
No, you cannot. If you had, it's
might
literally.
wanna double check
if
that.
you yes, go ahead, look it up. 18 USC 922. Look it up. There's people that have mental issues or been committed to a mental institution cannot have guns.
Well, hold on. But what kind of mental issues?
No, not
though?
everyone can buy a gun. Some
Because
idiot
I
over
see
here
your
on the
sign that
side.
says put transgenders in an asylum.
Yes.
You're putting the cart before the horse right now. You're saying that anybody who was put in a mental asylum shouldn't be able to have a gun because that's the law. But you're saying that transgenders should be put in an asylum and therefore they shouldn't have guns. So you're basing your argument off something that isn't even based in reality.
Yeah, put them in asylums and don't let them have guns. There you go. Bam. Who's up next? Who's up next?
Thank you.
All right. So, Mr. Myron, I would like to say that I do not represent the DOD in any way, shape, or form, but I got a couple questions for you.
Sure.
So earlier you had said that women shouldn't serve in the military, law enforcement, and whatever else bullshit you said.
They should not be.
Okay, no, let me talk. Okay.
Well, if you're going to go, because here's the thing, you're going to make your entire argument mischaracterizing a position, right?
Go. You
This one's
also
funny.
said that blacks are crooks. Then you also rebutted and also said that there's a majority of different reasons why. So one main factor you said is because the father wasn't in the household. Okay, I grew up with a single mother and my dad wasn't in the household, but that's also because what happened, the political parties and the government took the black father out of the household in the 1980s based off crack cocaine. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. No. So do you want to do the military thing first, or do you want to go into, because these are two completely different topics?
You can talk now. Go ahead.
Okay. So my position when it comes to the military and it comes to law enforcement is I don't think women should be in positions where, in the military combat or with being a police officer, like in patrol, where they're going to be likely to be hands-on. If they want to be in a support position, I can maybe have a discussion there. But if they're going to be in a position where they're going to get hands-on with someone, I think that's problematic and creates issues for everyone involved in that shift, in that encounter. And then with the military, same thing. I don't think they should be in combat positions because, unfortunately, women are inferior to men physically, and that creates problems. You're only as strong as your weakest point.
Why does it matter when the person next to you is going to be saving your life? If you were in battle and there was a woman, would you refuse the treatment from the woman?
It's not that I refuse the treatment. I'd prefer it be a man.
Why would you prefer it be a man?
Because let's say I get shot. I'm 200 pounds. Is she going to be able to drag me to safety the same level? No.
There will be women that can, I promise you.
She won't be
There's
able to.
women in the U.S. military right now, and I know for a fact that will be able to drag you. There's women in the U.S. military right now that score above men on HCFT right now.
Yeah.
As
The minority.
There's women on campus right now that score above men on the HCFT right now.
Look, bro. Look.
Do you want names?
I get it.
Do you want names?
I get it. Like
you're saying,
look,
put
look.
transgenders in asylums, but transgenders serve in the U.S. military right now, and they're just
That's a problem too. They're mentally ill.
If not better,
They're mentally
than
ill.
you as a piece of shit right now. Saying
Look at this
shit.
guy. Look, I get it, bro. You're trying to get laid. Some of these girls you think are gonna fuck you after this, but the reality is like simping for the girls and.
Hey.
Look, man, you can take the cape off, bro. Like, if I know you want to get some of these girls to fuck you after, but they're probably not. So this is the reality, okay?
This is about basic human respect, and you need to get it through your mind.
No. It's about, here's the reality, bro. Look, you got to, calm down and make arguments off of facts and not feelings. The reality is women are physically inferior to men in almost every way. Less lung capacity, less muscle density, less strength. Bone density is not the same. Women are just inferior to men in every way. I don't think that it's appropriate for women to be in combat zones where if I get shot and I need to get dragged, she will not be able to drag me. Now we're going to have her and maybe another person to come drag me and put two people on a job that could have just been one. That's a problem, and this is just the reality. Now, ask anyone that works in law enforcement or in military, and they'll admit, if they're not going to get recorded or whatever, they'll admit to you, I prefer to have a guy in backup. I came from law enforcement myself. Whenever we had women going into the house or whatever, they'd blunder, they'd make mistakes, they're not as refined as men, they don't have the same finesse, etc. So I would always put them on the perimeter. I'm just telling you what it is, bro. Anyone from the professional experience will tell you this. It creates a liability for everyone else involved. So why do we got to go ahead and weaken the entire unit because we want to make women feel better or trans feel better? These people are mentally ill. They shouldn't have a gun anyway in the first place. And we shouldn't have women in these positions either. Have strong, able-bodied men. And let's be honest here, too. If any of you guys called 911, right, and you're literally on the verge of dying, or you're trying to get pulled out of a fucking house that's on fire, and you see two women show up, you're going to be pissed, okay? You want two fucking guys to show up that are going to the gym that could fucking carry your ass out there. I know that for a fact. If you see two women show up, fucking Shaniqua and Laquina, that don't go to the gym and shit, stomach hanging out, oh, we gonna save you. We gonna save you. Come here, baby. Okay. And then they can't even drag your ass out the house because black women don't go to the gym. Then what? Cooked. You're dead. Okay. You're fucking dead. And I'm saying what everyone here is thinking. That's why people are laughing, because it's the truth. No one wants two women to show up at the worst time of their life. When you call 911 and your life is on the line, you want two people to come in and literally get you out of the worst moment of your life. Bro, if I see Laquina and Shaquina show up, I'm done. Just kill me. It's over.
My God. So you feel that women aren't as equally as capable as men?
They're not. Women are physically inferior to men in every way.
So if you were to race a woman right now, any woman that I choose, you would beat them in every physical test I gave you.
What was that?
If you were to take a physical test against a woman right now, you would beat them.
Bro, I'm talking to generalities here. In general, men are better than women at almost everything, okay? Physically.
But you're clearly not if you're saying put transgenders in asylums. Like, why? Like, why can't you just love everybody?
Look, man, like I said, I think they create a lot of problems. I don't think they contribute to society the same way. Like the other guy was trying to make the argument of like, well, you want to go ahead and take guns from trannies, but straight men commit a lot of the crimes. Yeah, but straight men also built up to society, so they're going to get way more tolerance than trans that don't contribute to society. That's a ridiculous argument.
Because that's a whole different stat line, and I'm not talking about that. But you're basically
you brought them up.
You're basically putting transgenders in asylums based off your personal belief, your personal bias to put transgenders in asylums.
Yeah. Put them in asylums. Don't let them have kids, and don't let them have guns. Yep.
But why? Why can't they have kids? Why can't they enjoy the same? The same
I don't think
the
gay people should be able to.
For. We fight for freedom.
Okay.
What if somebody took all your freedoms away?
Kids grow up the best in a nuclear family with a father and a mother, not two dads, not two women, and definitely not two people that don't know what their gender is.
Well, all it took was one mom for me, and I'm still here.
If you want to go ahead and be trans or gay or whatever, that's fine. But I don't think that that's fair that the child should be suffering because of your sexual degeneracy, because they will suffer. And we got a long line of people behind you, bro, so we can...
Okay, bye, Mr. Myron. Have a great day.
No worries. You could get back in line if you want. I just want to make sure everyone gets a chance. We got it. Yeah, what's up, man?
Okay. So your main point for putting transgender people in asylums.
Yeah, go ahead. All right. Let's put this one.
So...
We're going to switch the topic too, guys, because we got to run through these.
Your main reason is that they have committed a handful of mass shootings, correct?
Well, there's a lot of them are mentally ill is really what it comes down to. Is the majority of them have mental illness problems.
Why do you think they're mentally ill?
Dude, if you don't know what bathroom you should be going to or what gender you identify as, you are mentally ill. Something's wrong with you.
If there was someone standing on this campus saying, you as a straight man, I do not accept your existence, do you think you would also be mentally ill from that? Do you think you could also develop anxiety or depression?
No, I would tell
them your existence?
I would tell them heterosexual men built this country, so shut up, tranny.
Okay. Wow.
Simple as that, dude. Like, we are not the same. Like Like, I'm not gonna give, because like the argument you guys are trying to make is like, oh well, straight men do a lot of bad things. They commit crimes. They do X, Y, Z. Yeah, but they also built into society. So we're not gonna have the same tolerance for these fucking weirdos that don't know what their gender is over straight men that built society. The entire world that you guys enjoy now was built by straight men. We live in such a civilized world that a lot of you guys are so soft and pussy that you guys don't remember who built this world and how we got here in the first place. Because men are no longer men. Men go ahead and defer to female authority, thinking that women think right, when in reality, women don't build anything, okay? And in reality, women don't build up society. They don't control jobs that control infrastructure. So we've gotten so progressed and so fucking left that we forgot who built this country and who built society in the first place. The world that you enjoy now is based off of male ingenuity. Not female ingenuity, not trans ingenuity, not gay ingenuity, not none of that crap. It was straight men that built this world. So guess what? I'm gonna have far more tolerance for them. Yes, a majority of men are criminals and also retarded, but a majority of men are also geniuses and built up the world and all the inventions and all the conventions that we have nowadays. So they're gonna have another, I don't know what, I'm trying, you actually didn't invent Wi-Fi, double check that one. You should be in the kitchen, I don't know why you're talking. Anyway, back to what I was saying. See, see, women can't even control themselves. Notice how the guys are able to control themselves and they wait their turn. Then the women are just yelling in the background, etc. Get her a spatula somewhere. Yes, look at her. She can't even take it. She's a fucking walking up. Oh, fuck you. Oh. And then she said women invented Wi-Fi. That's not true. I actually double checked it. You guys don't invent anything except for fucking headaches.
Questions, man? Or are you gonna keep talking?
This is why women. This is why you guys should be able to vote.
What do you think is one of the first great societies of the world?
What was that?
What do you think is one of the first great societies of the world?
There's many.
The Greeks, maybe?
Yeah, Greeks,
Have you
Romans,
ever seen the movie
etc.,
300?
Yeah. Many. What was that?
Have you ever heard of the 300?
The
A band
Spartans?
of homosexual Greek soldiers.
The Spartans?
They are the foundations that this society is built on. To say that homosexual people are mentally ill is just incorrect. They've been around since the dawn of humanity. Another question. Okay, you believe that all women are dumb?
A lot of them are. Well, to be fair, people in general are dumb, but it tends to be more often women.
Okay. And you believe that women should not be allowed to serve in the armed forces?
Not in a combat role, no. Definitely not in a combat role. And honestly, all the women here would probably agree with me. I don't think women should be in a line of fire, or they should be in a position where they can get, taken as hostage, because that could create a bunch of diplomatic problems.
Okay.
So they would agree as much as they're sitting here. It's funny because women will sit here and argue with me about things that I say, but in reality, it's to protect them from themselves. They can't fucking serve in combat.
And you're so worried about someone not being able to drag you out of a battlefield?
Yeah.
Well, isn't your whole thing losing weight? Shouldn't you just lose some weight, then she can drag you out?
I'm 6'3", about 195 to 200 pounds. I mean, I think I'm where I should be. I think a lot of guys that, go to the gym and train are going to be somewhere in the 180 to 200 pound range. And unfortunately, a lot of women can't drag that. So that's a problem, dude. See, what you're saying is, let's just lower the standards so we can go ahead and let women in. That's the problem. I think we should keep the standards the same and keep women out.
I disagree. My cousin graduated from the Naval Academy in 2012, and she's now a lieutenant commander on a submarine.
That's great. A minority, you can't make an argument for the minority. The majority of women can't do it. So, look, are there some able-bodied women that can go?
The majority of men. What % of men are in the armed forces?
The majority of the armed forces is men, though.
I know, but you're saying that the majority of women can't do that.
A majority of men can complete the physical standards versus a lot of women can't. Here's the thing, bro. You cannot take a 1% of women and be like, yeah, see, this woman could do it, so we need to go ahead and extrapolate these same rights and these standards to all other women. A lot of women don't want to be involved in it. A lot of women can't do it. And just because 1 or 2 can do it doesn't mean that a majority can, and that we should weaken the entire fighting force for a small percentage of people that can do it. That's the problem.
They don't weaken the
just
fighting
because
force.
They're capable
they
doesn't mean
strive
it's
to
optimal.
reach the level that allows them to be in the fighting force.
Again, just because they're capable doesn't mean it's optimal.
Why not? If someone's capable
because it's
to do
a minority.
Job, why does it mean that it's not optimal that they do that job?
No, because it's a minority.
So just because they're a capable minority, they shouldn't be allowed to participate in a job that they're fully capable of participating in?
Sure. I mean, if they can, this is what I think. One standard, if women can pass it, cool. But the reality is that's not what happens. We have to lower the standard so they can get in. That's my problem. If we have one standard, they can actually make it through, cool. But we're talking about, if we did that, it would fall off immediately. Most women would fail. They wouldn't be able to make it through. It is what it is.
Okay. All right.
One standard.
See you, man.
There you go. I think we transitioned. Israel's the enemy, right? Is the new one?
Wait. What's up, Myron?
What's up, man?
You're the man. Do you want to give me any other random day in the calendar? like the day of the week, like I'll get it right. I promise. Like any random day and year, I'll get it right.
I can't think of one right now.
Wait, think of one. Say a random one. Trust me. Like a 1900, 2000.
Yeah, what is it? There you go, 4/20/1989.
April 20th, 1989. That is I got this one. Thursday. And follow my Instagram and TikTok, Ethan Funk 322. I love you, Myron. You're the man.
No worries, man. Thank you. Who's up next?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, what's up, man?
Did you say that female sports are dumb?
Yeah.
Okay. Is your argument that it's not as entertaining as like male sports? What's your argument?
That why female sports is dumb?
Yeah, why are female sports dumb? Like just one. Let's like start with one.
Yeah, they just suck. I mean, nobody wants to watch it.
Well, a lot of people do watch them.
Okay. They still suck though, and the reality is, female sports don't generate nearly the same attendance as male sports for obvious reasons.
So your argument isn't that they're dumb, but that they're worse?
They suck. And like I said before, a lot of the times when guys watch female sports, there's like some type of affinity. Maybe you go to, like, for example, you guys have a female basketball team here, right?
Yeah, sure.
A lot of you guys watch them because you're students here and you want to support. But the reality is, if you weren't students here, you wouldn't be watching them. That's my point. Versus if you weren't, whether you were a student or not, you'd be watching NBA.
Are you denying that most people that watch female sports actually enjoy it?
No, I'm saying that female sports suck, and most of the time that people watch it, they're watching it for personal affinity reasons versus like because of the actual ability of the athletes.
So do most of the people here only watch our basketball team because like they go to USC?
Because they're students, yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
I have a lot of family that doesn't.
What was that?
I have a lot of family that doesn't. They just watch it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Does it change the fact that women's sports still sucks and no one cares?
Okay. We just disagree. Cool.
All right.
Thank you.
Who's up next?
Guys. All right.
Yo.
You think that Israel's our greatest enemy, right?
Yeah.
I have to disagree. You see, in my opinion, I think the greatest enemy is corporations, you know? Because when you look into it, stuff like let's say you go to the store and you buy something, they give you that receipt. The receipt is actually laced with estrogen, you know? The stuff that like make you a girl. And the people are like grabbing that. And the more people that grab it, the more people are turning into like girls. And I think it's so like big business can come in and like take away our minds so that like we can get like impregnated because we turn into girls. Another thing.
All right, cool.
You know, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, do you have anything that's like on topic or no?
Oh, no, it's about the enemy. I think the corporation's the enemy.
All right, that's cool. Who's up next?
Sorry, man. All right.
No worries.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, what's up?
Good job. You know, Israel's our greatest enemy. I disagree. I think the Clemson Tigers are our greatest enemy.
Who?
Can I get
who?
The Clemson Tigers. Can I get a Spurs up from you, man?
Oh, wow, another school. Okay, another school. All right, cool. All right.
Oh, man. Hey, let's go Cox,
right.
baby. Let's go Cox.
All right.
Hey, Myron.
What's up?
Do you remember me?
No, to be honest.
Well, you used me in every single one of your videos last year, so I think I deserve some % of the profit.
Oh.
I really don't have any questions for you.
Well, the thing is, I don't like clip up the videos and stuff like that, so I don't know what gets posted or whatever. So, but yeah.
I have no questions for you. I can read you straight through like a book. All I want to say is you look stupid, you look embarrassing, and I want to spread some positivity to everyone here. You're doing amazing. You are so loved and so valued. And to all of my women.
Hear more woman talk.
To all of my women, I love you.
To all my women out there, you're beautiful, you're great. No matter how bitchy or rude you are, you're still amazing. You deserve it all.
You don't offend me. You don't scare me.
No matter how much makeup you wear, how fat you are, no matter how insufferable you are, you're still great. Slay.
All right, you're good. Who's up next? Yes, okay. Hey, I will say this. You got fatter since last time. Might want to exercise a little bit. I know school just started. The gyms are probably open.
All right, I got two questions.
Yeah. You know, women really only have like 2 jobs. Like, be pretty and don't be annoying. She already failed 50%. So, goddamn. All right, what's up, man?
I got 2 questions.
Yes.
So one, how can you be a Christian, a follower of Christ, and not believe that Israel's the righteous ancestral homeland of the Jews? And also,
wait, what?
How can you be? I know it's too much for you to like.
I'm not a Christian. I'm not a Christian.
Then how is Israel not the ancestral homeland of the Jews? And also, how does America being allies with the PA benefit us more than being allies with Israel?
When you say PA, you mean Palestine or?
Yeah, the Palestine or the Palestinian Authority or Iran or.
Well, my thing is this: I am anti-war, and I don't think we should be interventionists. And I think that us supporting Israel and giving them all the money that we do creates a lot of problems for us geopolitically, and creates a whole bunch of issues.
Well, it's Islamic regimes that have been keeping us in the Middle East in Middle Eastern wars for the past 50+ years.
Who's been keeping us in the wars?
Iran, Iraq. I mean, Al Qaeda.
Really?
Yeah.
You know who's been keeping us in the Middle East?
With Islamic regime by attacking American bases.
Israel's been
Beirut.
keeping us in the Middle East. Well, do you know why we went to war in Iraq?
Because of 9/11.
No, we went to war in Iraq because.
What happened on 9/11? Tell me.
Oh well, that's we got time for this one. Yeah.
Well, back it up with a bunch of bullshit. There you go. Go ahead.
You asked me the question and then you're like, okay.
I got all the day in the world.
So here's the reality, my friend. 9/11, right? And I'm going to just summarize this quickly. I'm not going to deny the fact that we were attacked by Al Qaeda and extremist groups, and also the United States knew what was going on. But the part that everyone tends to forget is about how Israel was involved as well and had foreknowledge that we were going to be attacked on that day. And the reason why is because Israel stands to gain great benefit from wars in the Middle East because they want to destabilize all their neighbors so they can go ahead and push the. That's false. Okay, the Greater Israel Project.
Then tell me why. Then tell me the whole basis on the whole basis why Israel was founded was to keep the Jewish people safe. Nothing to do with destabilize the Middle East. Most Israelis, they want to live their lives as is, and you're just out here like spreading the lie that they were putting in place to destabilize the Middle East. Because nothing what you said has been backed up by
Israel started wars with all of their enemies.
Credible historical scholar in history.
Okay, so
nothing
again,
you said has been backed up.
Dude, you thought that you literally just said we went to war in Iraq because of 9/11. No, we went to war in Iraq because of Israel. Because Benjamin Netanyahu literally went over and said, came over to the United States and said, if we go ahead and we get rid of Saddam, because he has weapons of mass destruction, it'll have positive reverberations all across the Middle East. And what did we do? We went to war over there. 1 million people died. We got nothing to gain from it. We destabilized Iraq. And to this day, there's still problems there and instability all over the place. Everything that we do in the Middle East is because of Israel and because of the powerful lobby that they have in Washington, D.C., where they run this country. So if you don't even understand that, then, dude,
I don't disagree with that the Iraq War went wrong. But, I mean, it's why did we go there?
Why did we go there? We went there for Israel. We went there for Israel.
No,
and that's a problem.
We went there for our own dignity because we were attacked. That's why.
Do you know that Iraq had nothing to do with 9/11? Did you know that Osama bin Laden and Saddam Hussein were enemies? Did you know that when Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait?
Same enemy.
Hold on, no, because you don't even know your history, bro. You don't even know your history.
So you don't, dude.
The reality is
Saddam
Hussein and Osama bin Laden were enemies. When Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait to go ahead and try to get the oil or get them to lower the prices so that he wouldn't have to compete or whatever the fuck it may be, what ended up happening was Osama offered the Mujahideen, because they had just beat the Russians in the 80s in Afghanistan, he offered the Mujahideen and said, hey, Saudi Arabian royal family, I will fight Saddam on your behalf. And then he was livid because the Saudi royal family said, oh no, we have the Americans, they'll go ahead and defend us. He's like, wait, why do we have Americans, infidels, defending Arab land? This is against the Quran, this is haram. And they're like, nah, get out of here, Saddam. And they fucking sent him to Sudan and ostracized him. And then guess what? Al-Qaeda ended up getting created. So Osama actually hated Saddam and he wanted to fight him. But what did everybody say? Oh yeah, they worked together, whatever, weapons of mass destruction.
Or the same enemy.
Or the anthrax push. It was all a fucking lie. It was all a lie.
Do you actually think that, like, for example, the current access to terror? Do you actually think that the Iranians and Yemenis get along? No, two totally different ethnicities. But what are they? They're united against a common enemy, which is Israel. So
yeah, because Israel destabilizes and kills Muslims every single day, and they're an illegal colonial state.
False. Have you not read the Bible? Have you not read the Torah?
I'm talking about what's going on here in general when we're talking about the creation of Israel. And also the Israelis and the Jews that they talk about in the Bible are not the modern Israelis of today, by the way. Also, another thing that you need to know, because you want to talk about terrorism all day.
I have ancestry dating back to the
Fantastic, bro. Because here's the thing. I find it interesting how you've been talking about terrorism the entire time. The reality is the state of Israel was created through terrorism. The IDF that you know today was created by the Irgun, Haganah, and Stern gangs. Those three paramilitary groups were terrorist organizations that rebranded into the IDF after Israel was created. So the entire state of Israel was founded upon the very terrorism that they try to condemn today.
It's not terrorism. I mean, I would say
it is terrorism.
They've
killed 60,000 innocent people.
Counterterrorism.
They've killed somewhere between 60 to 300,000 people.
According to who?
Already.
According to who? Ministry of Hamas.
Dude, they use those stats. Even the IDF uses those stats themselves.
Best combatant ratio of any modern war. 4 to 1.
What's the combatant ratio?
4 to 1.
4 to 1 innocent people to one Hamas terrorist?
Yeah. Because if you want to count as civilians, you got to realize most 17-year-old men are training for Hamas. So yes, they should be classified as terrorists.
So you think it's okay to kill 4 innocent people for 1 terrorist?
Well, I mean, look what the Allies did in Dresden. So if
it's not. Here's the thing: Israel has the capability to do direct strikes. They did it in Iran, where they can literally assassinate people with pinpoint accuracy. That's unacceptable. Here's the thing.
We also have the
dude, are you Jewish? Are you Jewish?
Yeah.
You are. Okay, that makes sense. So here's the thing, bro. Let's just have a very honest conversation here. Jews don't value life outside of people that aren't Jewish. Let's just be honest here. They don't value Arab life. They only care about Israelis. Because the reality is you guys have killed 100,000 plus people, okay, off of 1,200. And let's be honest here. Of that 1,200 that were killed, how many did the IDF kill? Because you guys killed a bunch of Israelis that day as well. Because you didn't want to deal with
October 7th?
Yeah, on October 7th.
That's just wrong, dude.
Oh, really?
Have you not seen the videos? Yeah.
Do you know what the Hannibal Directive is?
Did you not see the videos of Hamas going into Kfar Aza, shooting children, shooting women, shooting dogs?
Do you know what the Hannibal Directive is?
No regard for life.
Do you know what the Hannibal Directive is?
Tell me.
See, that's the problem. You don't even fucking know. You're just over here yapping.
You don't even know what happened
the Hannibal
on October
Directive
7th.
is when IDF kills their own people.
You don't even know what happened on October 7th.
I just told you the Hannibal Directive was activated on that day. The Hannibal Directive is where they kill their own people to avoid them being taken as hostages, so they don't have to deal with the diplomatic nightmare of getting them back.
The IDF came on paraglides to drop into a music festival to kill their own people.
No, they came in Apache helicopters and killed their own people.
I didn't see that. Where's the video of Apache helicopters? Please educate me.
There's literally videos out there of them shooting at people. You can see it. And on top of that, how do you think all those cars were burned, right, with blown up? Hamas has that capability? No.
Yeah. Only explosives, dude. Every single terrorist organization has them. I mean,
dude, the people that got killed in the cars literally got burnt to a crisp and blown up. Hamas does not have that capability. That was Apache Hellfire missiles, dude. You got to do some better research before you come over. Let's go to the next guy.
Show me the videos. I'm asking for your research. Where is it?
Sir, go on your phone, type in Hannibal Directive, educate yourself a little bit, and come back and we can debate. Because you can't even have this conversation, dude.
I'll come back in 5 minutes, dude. I'll show you my receipts.
And then you go ahead. Yoav Gallant, look him up. That was the guy that admitted he was your defense minister. And he admitted that the Hannibal Directive was activated that day and they killed their own people.
All lies, dude.
Look it up on your phone, man.
All lies, man.
Look it up on your phone. It's very Jewish behavior, not surprised.
How you doing, man?
What's up?
What's your name?
Go ahead. What's your question?
What's your name?
Just ask your question, bro.
All right. I just want to know. I just want to keep things respectful, you know. So I don't
it's
really
very
have
strange.
anything. I know. Respect is kind of strange to you. I know you don't know anything about it, but I just want to bring back the topic of women's sports. You say women's sports are just bad. So I want you to give like an objective reason on why you think it's bad.
No, I'm saying they suck.
Why?
Because they can't compete at the same level as men, and it's a waste of time.
Then why are women's sports a thing?
Why what?
Why are women's sports a thing?
Because we want to make women feel equal and happy.
Isn't that the goal of America? Equal opportunity?
Well, here's the thing. Egalitarianism, right, is great on paper and all, but it's not realistic. Because we aren't, if men and women are not equal, we're not the same.
If it's not realistic, then why is it happening right now? Look at women's rugby. Have you heard of rugby?
Yeah.
All right, so why is women's rugby so highly popular now? Why is it on the rise?
Dude, no one watches women's rugby. What are you talking about? What the fuck?
Oh, goodness. Scared of this guy. Anyways,
Bro, what the fuck? How about this? Name of 10 female rugby players. Go ahead.
10 female rugby players.
Go ahead.
I can't name it.
Okay, exactly.
Alright, but here.
See, and this is what I'm talking about. See, like, okay, I'm glad that we're having this conversation.
Yeah.
When I say that we live in a cucked out world where we fucking sit there and lie and talk about women are awesome and all this other shit, like women's sports are great. This dude made the argument about women's sports
what
matter.
are some sports
and
you
I said,
enjoy?
okay, tell me about women's rugby. He can't even tell me. Why? A lot of you guys are coming, let's be honest here. A lot of you guys are coming up to the mic right now to simp for some of these women here to try to get fucking laid. Let me say something great about women so I can get fucked tonight.
So can I talk about my personal connection
You want
to
to know the
rugby?
ugly truth about women? Here's a real red pill for you guys.
There's no
they
ugly
like
truth.
guys like me that tell them they're stupid and inferior. They don't like guys that cuck for them like you guys.
I played rugby with women.
Women are inferior in everything that matters.
I have a personal connection to women who play rugby.
Women want guys that are better than them. Women want guys that are stronger than them, taller than them, superior to them. They don't want equal cucked out guys like you sitting here saying, "Oh yeah, women's rugby is great, right? Right?
Hey, love
Nobody
your
gives
opinion.
a fuck. Nobody cares."
All right, can I speak?
Yes, go ahead.
I have a
Still
personal
waiting for those
connection to rugby,
female
right?
rugby players, though.
I can name you a bunch of women who play rugby that are connected to me in my personal life, right? I have a friend. Her
But
name
you
is
can't
Kelly
name the pro
Milken.
ones, right?
She plays rugby in Lander. She's a college commit to rugby at Lander.
Okay, you know what's great? Because I said this earlier. Men or people only watch women's sports when there's a personal affinity or some type of personal connection. They don't watch it objectively like, oh yeah, this is great. Let me just turn on the
So
tube
what
and watch
sports
female
do you
sports.
watch? What sports
like
do you
all you
watch?
guys that watch female basketball here is because you guys go to the school and you're supporting your school. That's great. But 10 years from now, when you graduate, you're not going to give a fuck anymore because you're not here anymore. Okay?
So are you saying all sports fans go
That's
to their
the truth.
college? Are you saying 100% of Steelers fans went to that university, or any collegiate sport, they all went to that university? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that when people watch female sports, there's typically some type of personal tie or affinity to them watching that female sport. Versus when they watch men's sports, they're watching it because these are the best of the best and I want to watch this. This is why professional sports for men is a thing and not really a thing for women. It's more of a college thing because people tend to be very tied to
Why are you
the school.
denying that professional women's sports isn't a thing? If it isn't a thing, there wouldn't be people watching it. They wouldn't get funding.
No one watches it, is my point.
If no
Look
one
at the
watches it, then
WNBA,
how do
it's
they get
negative.
funding? How
Nobody
do they get
watches it.
money?
Nobody watches WNBA.
If nobody watches WNBA, then why do they get funding? Why does it raise money?
Why
if
do they what?
nobody watches WNBA, WNBA wouldn't be a thing, right?
Yeah, it's subsidized, bro. Do you not realize it's negative? Every year it loses money?
If it loses money every year, it wouldn't be smart to keep it running, right? But
You're right. You're right. See, that's why you're Asian. You're smart. This is the thing, bro. Like, when it comes to he knows the math. He's like, wait, hold on. How are we subsidizing it, but it doesn't? I'll tell you why. Because we fucking simp for women. We need to stop subsidizing their mediocrity. That's my point. Because if the WNBA, if the NBA was negative, we would not be subsidizing the NBA. It would just go out of business.
Corporations won't make the conscious decision to continue that business if they're losing money. The fact that WNBA is still a thing means that they're making money. People are watching it, regardless of the personal connection.
Because here's the thing. Because they want to go ahead and be able to be politically correct. They still want to go ahead and be like, look,
political correctness has nothing to do with the amount of revenue a company makes.
No, but they will take it. That's my point. They will take financial hits to be politically correct. Look at Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel had to go. They went ahead and changed their. It was a woman, by the way, that did this. They went ahead and changed the emblem. They got a whole bunch of backlash, and they're like, oh, shit, let's change it back. Who made that dumb decision? A female. So the point I'm trying to make is that women, or people in general, because we have this female way of thinking, we will go ahead and sometimes take a backseat to making a bunch of money or being profitable so that we can make women feel good, but we don't give these same accommodations to men. Like, if the WNBA was negative, we would not exist.
Sports is the physicality, right? Not the mind. Physicality. 'Cause I agree with you that most women here aren't as strong, physically as strong as women. But the thing is, the reason why women's sports is a thing is because they can play on a higher skill level, not just physicality.
Okay, if they can play on a higher skill level, then let them play against the guys.
The difference is that while the skills are the same, the physicality are not. There are differences, and that's why there is WNBA versus NBA.
But there's differences, but it's because the difference is because women are inferior at sports.
In physical attributes. But
Yes,
not
and that directly affects.
Not in the mind, right?
Yeah, well, women have slower reflexes too.
This guy.
No, slower in the mind too.
Guy.
This is why, if you look at like chess, all the best chess players are men, even though it has nothing to do with physicality. Men are just better than women at everything.
There are women chess masters, and don't tell me a name. I don't know them. I'm not into chess like that.
Yeah, but
there are women chess masters, right?
But they suck compared to men. That's my point. Even when the physicality is removed, look at video games. Men are better than women at video games. That doesn't have to do with physicality.
So let's say you play against a woman chess master. Would you win?
She's a chess master.
So you would lose.
I don't play chess.
Exactly. Right. So you lose, right?
Okay, never mind. You're not as smart as I thought, Asian man. Who's next?
Yeah, I gotta say, man, you're checking off all the red flags, man.
Okay.
So are you like, do you actually believe this? Like just like a genuine question.
Yes, I do.
You genuinely believe all of these?
Yes, I do genuinely believe that women suck at sports. Yes.
And every other racist, homophobic, transphobic, whatever phobic shit you say.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Whatever you want to say. Who's up next?
This guy's kind of performative.
Yes, I'm a proud bigot. Who's up next?
I'm glad you know you're a bigot, man.
Yeah, man. A lot of people are. I'm just honest about it.
You're just the biggest one.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm just not scared to admit it. We all have a little bit of racism in us. Come on, man. Let's be honest. We all do.
All right.
What's up?
Is it working?
What's up?
All right. So I just have to go back to women. It's just I gotta do it.
You gotta go back to what?
Women.
Women?
Like to talk about them. Yeah.
Okay.
So
a lot of the women talk.
You said so. You made this like bold claim about women in the military and law enforcement.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just curious. Like, what's your experience with that? I'm just curious why you say that.
Why do I say that?
Yeah.
Well, my experience, I actually used to work in law enforcement myself. I was a special agent with Homeland for almost 10 years. So I dealt with female agents and having to put them in operations, and it never really turned out well. I got a bunch of buddies that are in law enforcement military, and they've told me before having women on their team is bad. It just doesn't help out.
And that's just because they're women?
What's that?
Like, so you've had bad experiences with men too then, right?
Well, again, yes, you can always have bad experiences with men as well, but with the women, it's far more prevalent.
So you're absolutely sure it's just women? So there are like plenty of men that make a lot of mistakes. Like there are a lot of male officers that just like shoot people for no reason. So I'm just like really curious why you're really pinpointing women. Like mentally, they're no different than men in like IQ and intelligence. Like that's just fact. We're not different in that way.
Actually, men and women think far differently, and we process information far differently.
Okay, so maybe
we're
so
not
let's say
the same.
we think differently. Why does that make them like less capable mentally?
Well, we don't think this. See, here's the thing: you men and women are not equal, bro. We're not the same, and this is like that liberal.
Well,
talking
yeah,
point.
we're different genders, different sexes.
Yeah, but that
biologically.
affects being a different gender. Literally affects everything else from there. The way we think, the way we process information, the way that we see the world. Everything is different. So since we are biologically different, that completely affects the way that we view the world, and it also affects our strength and other things.
How come some of the smartest people have been women? Like, women have done big things, like in aerospace engineering and stuff like that. So,
yeah, but the majority are men.
Right, because like
the majority are still men.
Okay, so historically, women have had less access to like education and like literally all their rights. So I mean, obviously, there's gonna be like. But that doesn't make women less intelligent than men. There have just been less opportunities for women.
Well, we've overcorrected. Women graduate more than men. Women are getting more degrees than men nowadays.
Nowadays, yeah, but like, what about hundreds and thousands of years in the past when women have been oppressed by men?
We've overcorrected, but women still don't go into certain job fields that keep the society running, despite the fact that they're more educated.
What do you mean?
Well, when it comes to infrastructure jobs, when it comes to engineering, when it comes to sewage maintenance, like jobs that really matter.
And why is that?
Because women have different interests based on biology.
Thousands of years ago, women weren't allowed to do that.
We're not. What I'm trying to explain to you is that men and women are different, right? And
yeah, they're obviously different.
Yeah, they're very
women.
different. And since they're different,
right,
they have different worldviews. And since they have different worldviews, that affects everything about how they view the world. So, despite the fact I find it interesting how women graduate more, they have more degrees, they're more educated than men are, but they still don't go into job fields that, keep society running, right? They go into job fields that are like, let's be honest, HR, sitting in an office somewhere, jobs that don't necessarily keep infrastructure going, because women don't have the same physical capability,
right?
Right,
they
as
don't
men
have
do.
They don't have the same physical
and
capability.
And then when they do go into jobs that have to do with physical capability, they fuck it up.
So then let's go to the military, for example. You said you're okay with them in support roles, right?
What was that?
You're okay with women in support roles in the military?
In support roles, yeah.
So like support roles are like 90% of the battle. Like something like that.
As long as they're not near, combat or in a position where they can fuck things up.
Right. Okay. So men can fuck things up in combat too. So I work on a military base and I see women exercising all the time, like achieving like the level of some men in the gym. I've seen it.
Great.
So they should be able to fight if they want. We're in a free country with equal rights for all. So kind of like discriminating against women for being women is just kind of insane, don't you think? Like,
I'm discriminating to protect them from themselves, and I would argue a lot of them don't want to be in combat roles anyway. See, this is the thing.
But some do. So they should have that right.
Don't.
Yeah, they do.
The staggering majority
don't. Why do
don't.
I see plenty of women in the military?
Why do you think women
all the
haven't
time?
been in infantry for so long?
Because they weren't allowed to.
Good. Like that's
good. But there are women who want to serve and protect their country in combat roles, and they
shouldn't be in infantry anyway. And that was back when America was based. That was back when we weren't idiots.
Why are men why is it their job to determine if a woman could fight or not if they want to? That's their right. And there are women who can reach the standards
men are
of
leaders. Men are leaders. Women are not. So since we are leaders, we must be the ones. Because we protect society, we run society.
So
women don't.
So the women teaching students, they're leaders. They're in leadership positions. They're educating society.
We're not talking about being a teacher, man.
Well, we're talking about
We're talking about military and law enforcement.
Roles. Okay, what about women drill sergeants? I've heard plenty of men talk about how they're the scariest ones they dealt with. Yeah, I know. Funny, right?
All right, dude. Let's go to the next person. This guy's just coming up with that. Women drill sergeants are scary, man. Bro,
I'm talking about people who've served in the military.
I can't take a little bit seriously. She's yelling at me drop down and give me 20. I'm like, all right, bro. Make me a sandwich.
All right, because you're just a loser. Because you don't respect anyone or anything.
Look, dude. Again, you're another guy that's trying to get laid tonight. Look, I promise you don't have to simp like this for girls.
Because I want to get laid
tonight. They like guys that tell them that they're dumb.
That's in your head. You're the one thinking about getting laid.
They like guys that tell
you're
them
the one
like
who brings OnlyFans girls on your podcast so you can.
Yeah, and they make better arguments than you do. This is pathetic.
Okay,
they make better arguments than you do.
All right, well,
they at least understand their biological limitations. They at least understand that.
All right. Well, at least while you're on campus, at least follow the rules that we're supposed to follow. The Carolinian Creed.
Rules?
The Carolinian Creed, where it talks about
what?
Not the Carolinian Creed.
What is that?
The rule, the guidelines for
apparently saying it's not a real thing. It's not real. Okay.
No, the guy in your little corner is talking.
Yeah, he's making up some fucking. I don't even know what that is. It's probably some cucked out fucking law where you got to be nice or some shit to women. I don't fucking know. Yo.
Hello. What is your position on foreign involvement in Ukraine and Russia?
What was that?
What's your position on foreign involvement in Ukraine and Russia?
We need to get out. We need to stop giving them money. I would argue that Vladimir Putin has more justification to invade Ukraine than we did invading Iraq, contrary to what the dumb Jew said earlier. Because the reality is Iraq had nothing to do with 9/11, and this has been established with a million times over. At least with Russia and Ukraine, Putin can justify invading Ukraine for national security reasons, right? NATO expansion, putting in the Maidan coup. There's a bunch of reasons why Putin invaded. So I would argue that he actually has more justification to invade Ukraine than we did invading Iraq. We had no business in Iraq, and it cost a bunch of money, gave us zero benefit. It only benefited Israel and the Jews.
Now, I have another question to add to that. Are you worried about appeasement with Putin? Because, the British appeasement, what they did with Hitler in the 1930s and 1940s, where they just, let them take over countries. If we do that with Ukraine, it'll, cause a domino effect.
Well, they were a part of the Ukraine is basically Russia, man. They were part of the USSR for a very long time. So, I mean, honestly, Ukraine's kind of a fake country, if we're going to be honest. So, my thing is, I think we should be making peace with other nuclear powers. I think, or at least have some type of neutral agreement with each other, because I think having these conflicts with other nuclear powers creates problems. I'm very anti-war. I don't want war, and I think diplomacy should always be step number one.
So if they invade other countries like Poland or more east, Europe, would you have a problem with that?
A problem with what?
Them invading other countries in Eastern Europe, ones that aren't part of the USSR.
I think that's obviously something that could be hindered or stopped off of good diplomacy. But I do think with them invading Ukraine, this is kind of something that's been going on for a very long time, where we've been lying to Putin, saying we're not going to expand NATO, we're not going to bring Ukraine in, and we've been secretly kind of doing it and lying and violating agreements, and they're going to invade because of national security reasons, right? I'll tell you this: if China decided to come into Mexico and take over Mexico City, we would be in there tomorrow, right? So I think every country should be able to exercise their sovereignty and national security, just like we do.
Then also I had a question about women in the military.
Yeah.
So you said we shouldn't lower the standards to let women in the military. if a woman were to pass male standards, would you be okay with her serving in a line?
Yeah, if she could pass the male standards that we have, yeah, I'm okay with that. But I also understand that a very few will be able to pass it. But if they can do it, cool. But that's going to be, we're talking 1% of the population, maybe less. But my biggest thing is we shouldn't water down the standards to allow women in. That's the problem. We water down the standards to let them in so that we can have more equal representation, which I think the whole concept of equal representation is bullshit.
Okay. So like the qualifications to stay the same and everybody else okay?
Yep.
All right. Thank you for your time.
No worries, man. Good questions.
What's good, Myron?
Yo.
I got a question about why do us African Americans not criticize ourselves for the problems that we have instead of deflect it on something else?
Why do they not criticize themselves?
Yeah, for like example, like we will
blame it on everybody else, right?
Yeah, like for example, like we'll blame white race.
Yep.
And we'll be like, oh, they'll do stuff. Yeah, they do stuff.
Yep,
but
for sure.
We don't criticize our own selves because we put ourselves down more than anything.
Well, we need more young guys like you that think that way, man. So that it's we got to take 100% accountability for our fuck ups, right? Like the reality is like, and this is something that is very irritating because like, well, some days they consider me black, sometimes they don't. But, my family's from Sudan. So like for me, I dealt with the bullshit, right? I got profiled before. After 9/11, people thought I was a terrorist. And on the other hand, they're saying I'm a criminal. So I've been profiled before and I was able to overcome that. So whenever people come in and say, oh, well, racism, systemic racism, blah, blah, blah. I think in today's day and age, there's nothing that holds you back from success. And I think if we have more young black guys or like talking about this and saying like, dude, you're not a victim, you can fucking overcome, we'll be better off, man. And it's because the music, the culture, just a very victim mentality, man.
Because like I see what they're doing, Trump is doing in like DC, those blue cities.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree with it because if you've really gone to like DC, stuff like that, it's not safe. Like
yeah, it's bad. It's very bad. Chicago, DC, LA, like all these cities suck. Yeah. Like it's extremely dangerous. You get mugged. So it's like that's kind of what's going on.
Yeah. But thank you.
No worries, bro. Good question, man. Good stuff. Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you? I
Good,
just wanted
good.
to go back on to your thoughts on women. So
Sure.
I just want to know, what's the role of women in your organization? I noticed you have one up on stage who's helping you out today. How do you see them as part of Censored America?
Yeah, I think women are best in assist roles.
In what roles?
Assistory role, like assisting in assist roles.
Assist roles. Okay. So do you mind sharing your qualifications that allows you to sit at the front of the table?
To sit what?
To sit here talking to us. What are your qualifications?
My qualifications?
Yeah.
So it's interesting because like it looks like you're using like ChatGPT or something like that on your phone. You didn't do a quick Google search before you jumped on the mic?
I'm using my notes app.
Okay, so you didn't do a quick...
I just did a quick search. I just put my phone away. Don't worry.
Okay, no,
I'm sorry
I mean,
if you feel threatened.
I think my qualifications speak for themselves. I've done some things before in the past, so.
Okay, cool. Like what?
What's your question?
I was just wondering what your qualifications are. You have a platform here today. You're talking to all of us, and we're all here to listen to you. So I just want to know what your qualifications are that make you feel like you're qualified to answer these questions about politics.
Well, I'll tell you this. How about you research me, and then you come back, and then we can have.
I'm not a fan, so I won't research you. Do you mind sharing today?
What was that?
Do you mind sharing today for all of us?
I don't need to, like.
Okay.
There's a bunch of people here, right? That should tell you something. There's a bunch of people here listening. That should tell you something. I don't think I need to go ahead and tell you what my background and qualifications are. I think if you research and do a little bit of Google search, you'll know exactly what it is. I don't need to.
All right. And then do you mind going back to my second question of why do you see women as only assistants in your organization? You're saying that you said that they're not physically strong. What benefit do you see by putting down women, by justifying that women are less superior than men?
Well, men are just better than women at most things.
Like
This is just the truth. We're better leaders. We're more logically sound. We create the society. We're leaders. We're stronger. We're physically superior. Like most geniuses are men. Like this is like, look, I know this sucks to hear because we live in this like egalitarian society where we're supposed to sit here and care about women's feelings. But the facts are the facts. And most human innovation was led by and run by men.
You're saying most invasions and wars are run by men?
No, innovation. Innovation.
Innovation?
Innovation. Like human innovation and progression has been pushed by men. Every
That's really
revolution
not true.
has been led by men pretty much.
Have you heard about like the history of DNA? How that was discovered?
We're about to get into the Wi-Fi argument next.
No. This is not about Wi-Fi. It's basically about how the DNA was discovered, the credit was taken by men, but it was later found that it was taken by women. Do you see that as a potential occurrence for other innovations that have happened in history?
Okay, where? I mean, okay. Like, okay, let's say we give that to you. The overwhelming majority of everything else is still built by men.
Really?
Yes.
Like what? What do you think is 100% certain that it hasn't just been a man who's taking credit?
Look around. See all these buildings? These were all built by and more than likely designed by men. See the clean water that we drink? We see the infrastructure that we have, all the electricity, these cameras, the fact that we're on the internet right now. This was all created and instituted by men. But we've civilized the world so much that we forget about this stuff.
Solely by men, you think that these men were created?
The majority.
What happened to the whole
Are there
role
women
of
that contributed? Sure, but the majority of the contributions to humanity has been done by men.
Why do you think that is?
It's not that I think, it's the truth.
That's okay. Wait, can you give me an example? Of like, why do you think it's solely men that are leading this forefront? You don't think that women have made that role surrounding it, that have assisted it? And why do you think that their assistance is not crucial to it?
Okay, give me one matriarchy that stood the test of time. How about that one?
One who?
One matriarchy that stood the test of time.
I would say like a lot of world politicians, they're prime ministers in other countries.
Yeah, but that's a patriarchy type structure that was created and allowed women to get into that position. Still, okay, I'm just gonna say it. Men have the monopoly on force, okay? So since we have the monopoly of force, reality is all the freedoms that you guys have, we gave them to you, okay? Everything that you guys have, we gave to y'all.
So
and you guys
think
still,
that women's rights are given from men? They're not just existing?
They're absolutely given through
So
men.
all rights that women get is
and they're
because men
enforced by
allow
men
them.
too. They're given to you by men and they're enforced by men.
They're enforced by men?
Yes.
So wait, so you think that should be allowed though? Men should be the ones giving women rights?
That's just what it is.
But like, do you think that's right? Do you
All
think
the
that's
rights
right?
that you enjoy are given to you by men.
What about the?
This is why no matriarchy stands the test of time, because the reality is that the question I gave you is a trick question. There is no matriarchy that stands the test of time because women simply can't defend themselves from male invaders.
So the men are the ones invading them? Like you're saying that the men are the problem that we're supposed to be protected against, right? Like, why do we need people protecting us if the problem is other men?
You're all over the place. What is your point here? Because like first it's like, what's your background? Now it's like men versus women.
I was curious, but I just wanted to understand your understanding of the role of women in society.
Women's role in society is to have kids, have families, be in the kitchen making delicious sandwiches, and being a great assistance to their man. That's where they thrive the best.
I'm glad that's clear. Okay.
They're not equal to men whatsoever. And when we try to make them equal, we fuck things up. I'm a big proponent of putting women back in the kitchen.
So my question is, you say Israel is our greatest enemy?
Yes.
And would you agree that what they're doing in Gaza is like an ethnic cleansing and genocide?
100%.
So are you pro-Palestine?
Well, I'm pro-human. And what's going on right now is completely unacceptable.
So you say America shouldn't give money to anybody, right?
I don't think we should be giving money to Israel specifically, especially with what's going on.
So should we be giving money to Palestine if it is an ethnic cleansing and it's a human rights issue?
Well, here's the thing. If we're going to go ahead and be the responsible for 70% of the bombs being dropped on them, I do think at this point that we do have some duty to get some type of peace and to broker some kind of peace between the two and create whether it be a two-state solution or a one-state solution where the Israelis are forced to take in those Palestinians that they currently have an apartheid under, or living under an apartheid regime, because the reality is there's never going to be peace in the Middle East until the Palestinians get some type of sovereignty.
But if you make a two-state, like you make Palestine its own state, wouldn't that be a terrorist like led state?
I would argue the Israelis are bigger terrorists than the Palestinians are.
And then like how would we stop giving money to Israel?
How do we stop?
Yeah, if everyone in Congress is in AIPAC.
You're right. That's a good question. We need to get them out of there. Dual citizen, we got to get them out of positions of power.
But how can you do that if they're in AIPAC? Like everyone that is running for a government is in AIPAC. Like what's your solution to that?
Well, again, we need to go ahead and get more politicians that aren't necessarily dependent upon Zionist money, Zionist lobby money. We need politicians that put America first, aka I would argue America only. And we need to ensure that we have people that have America's best interests and don't carry an Israeli passport. Like right now, we are absolutely our foreign policy is being run by a rogue nation that exercises terrorism to conduct ethnic cleansing and have the Greater Israel Project. And I think that's a problem because they have too much control and too many levers in American society, whether it's government, big tech, finance, so many different levers of power that they have. It's too much and we need to get them out of there.
But how do you do that is my question.
Wake people up. First is education. After October 7th, we've been able to finally talk about this topic, right? For example, the guy earlier asked me about, oh, what's your thing with, World War II, whatever. The fact that I couldn't even talk about that while we're on certain platforms proves my point that there's a heavy censorship regime around a certain topic. And that should tell people, oh, that's interesting. So we've finally been able to talk about this topic when it comes to Zionism, Jewish power, Jewish supremacy over the past year or so. Prior to October 7th, if you talked about it, you would get banned off every single platform. And it's still a very sensitive topic to this day. So I think by educating people on who really runs this country and the occupation of our government, that's step one.
But how do you think Israel runs our country?
I mean, you mentioned it earlier with AIPAC. That's one tentacle that they use. But there's an enormous amount of lobbying power that they have with being able to control our foreign policy. They basically dictate our foreign policy.
Okay, my last question is,
sure.
You say, would you say you're a really good-looking male?
I'm average at best.
So my question is, how do you get women?
What was that?
How should a guy like you get women? Like, how should we try to get women?
Like regular guys or?
Like very good-looking guys like you, and then not very good-looking guys.
Well, I appreciate the compliment. But no, what I would say is, yeah, pause for sure. I think what guys need to do is, like, when it comes to being attractive to women, I think men need to understand that women have way more options than we do. And the only way to combat that is you have to get your money on point, get in shape in the gym, have good frame, and understand that women are not equal to men and have that red pill mindset that you need to be the leader. And just have your, just understand how the world works. Be competent.
Okay, thank you.
All right, man, no worries. Good questions. What's up, man?
What's up? Okay, so I just want to say a couple things, more so questions, not
Hold on,
really-
before you ask the
Okay.
question.
Yeah.
Go ahead, my bad.
I'm not really here to grill you. I want to...
No worries.
Yeah. So, first things first, Peter Thiel, he's a complete bitch. What is your
I
take
agree.
on that? I think you should sort of elaborate on that. Earlier you said he was a cocksucker. I think most of the people here don't actually know who Peter Thiel is. I think it's better for sort of trying to stop him and stop what Palantir is doing for people to actually be aware of it. So,
Yeah,
what's your
so
take?
I mean, I'll kind of quickly go through this, but he's from the PayPal mafia, Palantir. He's alongside Alex Karp, one of the founders, and the guy is a bumbling idiot. He can't say anything really. Anytime he's asked tough questions, whether it's about what's going on in Israel because that software is being used to kill a bunch of innocent people, Lavender with Palantir, and then the Palantir software itself is incredibly invasive software, which I've actually used myself when I worked in the government, and it collects a bunch of information, and we are going to be under an AI-controlled world at some point because it's becoming more and more invasive and becoming more and more powerful. And make no mistake about it, J.D. Vance being vice president is what's going to usher that tech world, Silicon Valley. I mean, that's the big reason why they brought J.D. Vance in, was because of bringing that tech money in. So I do think that it's a problem for sure. And Peter Thiel is not someone who is he's not our friend. I'll say that.
Yes. Okay. And second thing, I noticed that in all of these discussions here, it's more so identifying a problem, and there's not that much of a solution.
Sure.
What would your solution to be to things sort of like Israel being in our government, how we stop that, certain things like these police states that are starting to happen in Washington, D.C.? Like, what's your take on that? How do we stop sort of overreach while also turning these things into something like
with the
actually
Israel
useful?
problem, I think step one to that is simply knowledge, right? This has been a topic that's been forbidden for many decades, right? If you talked about this stuff, you question 9/11, you question the USS Liberty, you question, the Levant affair, any of these false flags, you'd be banned immediately, right? They'd call you an anti-Semite and you're cooked. Unfortunately, after October 7th, though, it's a tragedy of because I do actually value Israeli life too, even though they don't value anybody else, and what's going on in Gaza right now. It's allowed us to have this very difficult discussion. I think step one to us being able to get rid of the Israeli influence on our geopolitical / foreign policy affairs is knowledge and education, because a lot of Americans are completely unaware of this stuff. And for the last year or two, I've seen like a transformation of us people being aware of this topic. So I think step one is educating the American public so that they know where their politicians are getting their money. Right? 2 years ago, nobody knew what AIPAC was, right? Nobody knew about Israel. Nobody even knew what Zionism was 2 years ago, because I remember I was talking about this before then, and if I said Zionism, they're like, what is that? So the fact that we're talking about it now is already a W. And, if we keep getting this information out there, despite the censorship. I think that's step one to taking our country back and making it an America-only, foreign policy.
Yes, and okay. Last thing, I don't fully agree with you on everything, but I do think you carry sort of a good perspective in terms of identifying problems. What would you say your advice would be to young men today? And as a second question, what would your advice be to young women in terms of sort of trying to fix the society that we live in today? There's clearly problems. It's in every facet of life, but I just want you to say what specifically like an actionable plan.
And I'll give actual constructive advice here instead of just triggering women, because I know they get mad. So I think for men need to be as competent as possible, right? I think guys need to get an education or get a trade, make as much money as they can, go to the gym, keep their looks up, be competent, be intelligent, and be in a position where you can take care of a woman and a family, right? You are the leader, you are the responsible person, you have the authority. So I think if your woman should work electively. Now for the women, look, I don't have a problem with women going to school or whatever, because I do understand that we're in a different era. It's not the 1950s, it's 2025. But I do think that women need to prioritize having a family over school and career. So if they do find a man and they do end up, because going to school will put them in line with other guys that are, that are going to be on their way up, I think they need to prioritize the family and having children, and they should be in a position where the guy is taking care of them versus, them having to work. Now, if she wants to work electively, that's fine, but I do think that the guy's responsibility is to take care of the family, because I think kids are the most important thing, and a nuclear family thrives when, the woman is taking care of the kids versus a daycare or a babysitter or anything else like that. So I think with men, be as competent and as strong and as financially responsible as you can be, and then with women, try to find a guy, get married as soon as you can while you're still young, have kids, and, let's bring America back.
Yes, okay. And the last thing, I noticed that at the end of all these conversations you have, whenever someone's getting mad at you, you sort of give them a little bit of rage bait or something like that. With a couple minutes ago, you were like, Indians are stinky or something. Yeah, so.
It's like an hour ago.
Yeah, I meant to say hour ago.
Yeah.
I might have said minute.
But they do tend to smell, let's be honest.
What I'll say about that is I think that you come from an area of trying to find patterns and stuff like that, and instead of trying to find the good in people. I feel that if you were to become a Christian or something like that, like you said you weren't, that it would really help these conversations actually turn into something good instead of, oh, fuck you, someone in the back is yelling at you, trying to ruin your day, so you give them a one-liner back, and then you ruin their day for...
I mean, I got thick skin, man. I understand that this type of... Here's the thing. Difficult conversations are going to lead to certain things. And I've accepted the fact that the way I convey my message or my message in general is not going to be palatable to a lot of people, because we live in a very pussified world where people like to hear comforting lies over uncomfortable truths. So, I've made peace with the fact that most people simply can't handle the truth, and that's fine. And then as far as pattern recognition goes, I think pattern recognition is very important. I do think that a lot of people do recognize patterns. It's just that they're afraid to admit the fact that they recognize these patterns because they don't want to be called racist or bigoted or whatever it may be, and they try to, oh no, let me not be racist and let me just lie. But pattern recognition, I think, is very important for people to have, and I think more people do it than they'd care to admit. They just don't want to admit it.
Yes, okay. So I think if you were to make those things more palatable, you'd get towards what you're actually trying to achieve with educating people on, let's say, the Peter Thiel situation. Some of these people aren't listening to you at all because of some of these takes that you have. Some of these people hate you. All they want to do is come up in here and yell at you. I just think if you were to
and that's fine, because here's the thing. When they come up and yell, they just show how stupid their position really is.
Yes,
and then other people are watching and they'll be like, you know what? Maybe that is a bad ideology. Because the reality is, millions of people are going to see all this, right? We got a couple hundred people here probably watching, whatever. But keep in mind that millions are going to be watching this, and they're going to be able to see ideologies kind of battling each other. And then they can go ahead and make a decision based on what they see. And a lot of the times they tend to agree with me. And they see, damn, this is a problem, because, they can't even really defend their ideology. Yeah, I think that's what's important.
Sort of what I'm getting at is if you were to just have a little bit more of a peace-centered discussion, people would actually care about what you have to say more. I know most of these people just came here, heard your name, they hate you, but...
That's fine.
What I'm trying to say is just have a great day, and I hope you find the Lord.
No worries, man. Thank you.
Yo, what's up, guys? Got hey, if you go to this school, DM me on Instagram. I'll follow you back.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, Myron?
Yo.
So, women's liberation, as we all know, has been a disaster for this country.
Yes.
We taught them how to read. We gave them the right to vote, and we are putting them in college. We're letting them party for the first 30 years of their life or 10 years of their adult life. I'm a Christian, but I look at the Middle East and I look at Muslims, and they seem to have their women in check. My question is, do we need to bring some sort of Sharia law to America to get our women back in check? What do we do? How do we fix this? Do we need to put them in burqas? How do we get... They're out here, they're dressing like whores, they're killing babies, and they think they're smarter than they are. So what do we do about this?
Let's fucking go, man. We got a smart guy over here, man. I agree with you 100%. Yeah, so I don't think we need Sharia law because I do think, even me growing up as a Muslim, I understand that Sharia law simply just isn't compatible with a Western democracy, it just isn't. But I do think that, this country was founded as a Christian country, and I think we could just go back to Christian ethics and that will handle a lot of the problems. The problem is that, right, people are misinterpreting the Bible, and, women think that they're equal within the Bible, and we got female pastors and shit, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? So I think if we can get back to that nuclear family structure, I think that will handle a lot of the problems. But yes, I agree with you that feminism and female liberation has created a host of problems that, quite frankly, women don't even know is going to come back to haunt them later on. They think it's all great to be a slut and have freedom and woo.
They're celebrating the declining birth rate on Instagram a lot of the time, and that's literally the death of our nation. And they're cheering and they think it's cool. Oh, I'm contributing to the declining birth rate. We're all going to die if nobody has kids. If you're smart, if you're high IQ, you need to have kids. The high IQ people aren't reproducing, and that's what we need.
Yeah, and if you look at like Japan and South Korea, like that's where we're headed. Like these countries are declining and they're getting cooked. And like something like I was doing a pod with a buddy of mine earlier, like 40, 50% of the population is 60 or above. Like that is a dying nation, man. So the birth rates are low, and if we don't get the birth rates up with men and women together having strong nuclear families, we're cooked. But we're destroying ourselves. Why? Because women want to be free and they want to be sluts, and that's a problem.
Can we fix the birth rate by just importing a bunch of immigrants from Africa and India? Would that fix it?
I don't think so, man. I think mass immigration is a problem. If we look at like what's going on, like if we look at Toronto, right? It's nothing but Jeets. So it's like, God damn, man. It's
getting
basically
fake
India.
college degrees.
Yeah,
going to colleges and malls and kiosks and colleges attached to Indian restaurants, literally. But you get arrested in Canada if you speak out against this.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think they don't have freedom of speech, right?
Neither does the UK.
Yeah.
We're like the only ones left, man.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'll let you go. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on, bro.
Thank you. Never forget, Israel did 9/11. I think we can all come together on that, whether you're liberal, conservative. Israel did 9/11.
Yeah.
They are not our greatest ally.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Women Propaganda, guys, go check them out.
Follow me on Instagram, Woman Propaganda.
And we're going to do something later. We're going to do a collab, too. It's going to be lit.
Yes.
Yes. All right, who's up next? It's the homie right there. Collab incoming. What's up, man?
What's up, brother? I have a few questions.
Yes.
So how do you make money?
I sell drugs.
Very funny, but for real though.
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of, I'm a real estate investor. I have properties, right? Because I knew that being, having this line of rhetoric, people would try to cancel you. Obviously, we're on Rumble, we're on YouTube, we're on different platforms, and you got to be kind of cancel proof whenever you have the views that we have, because censorship is very strong. It's receded a bit, which is good, but yeah.
I mean, you can't really get canceled doing what you do. There's going to be people that agree with you. There's going to be people that hate women all over the world.
Well, the thing is that let me be honest about this. I don't hate women.
have a book called Why Women Deserve Less.
Yeah, so I understand them.
That's kind of hateful.
I understand them. So this is the reality. If you understand women, there's no way that you can look at them as an equal. You either look
Okay.
at them as an equal or you understand them. If you understand them, then you understand that there's no way that you could be looked at as equals because they're
Okay.
fundamentally different than us in every single way.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
that doesn't mean that I hate them. That means that I understand them. And if anything, I do more to protect them than liberals do. Because liberals sit there and say, oh, women should be in the workforce. They should be
Not a
paid
liberal, by the way.
50%. They should be in the military. They should be in police jobs. They should be in lines of danger. I think we need to protect women and provide for them.
Okay, that's awesome. You're a great guy. You protect women. Why do you think that just because they're like different that they can't be equal?
Because that's precisely why. Because you cannot, if we're going to be different in almost every angle when it comes to biologically, there can't be equality there.
Yes, there
We're
can.
different.
Yes, there can. Women are better at certain things than men.
Like what?
Emotions, understanding them. You don't understand emotions. I mean, look at you.
Okay, I mean, look, I think.
Do you think that that's untrue? That women don't have a better understanding of emotions than men? Because they actually do.
Well, I think they're
The way-
more emotionally erratic, and that's a problem.
Okay, I mean, sure.
Yeah.
Show you what? I can't hear what he's saying.
Yeah, women are more emotionally erratic, and I think that's a problem. I would argue that
Oh,
men.
so wait, shooting people's not emotionally erratic because men do like 98% of that.
Well, that's a perfect example of what I mean when men aren't emotionally stable. That's a problem.
Yeah, obviously.
But men definitely have more stoicism.
Oh, for the
than women do.
record, I do agree with you on like Israel and your foreign policy beliefs.
Mhm.
I have another question. Are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah, I do like Trump.
You like Trump.
Now, with that said,
Israel's boot is in Trump's mouth right now.
That's actually one of the things that I'm heavily critical about
Oh, okay.
is the foreign policy when it comes to Israel.
Okay.
Like I like some of the things that Trump does, and I dislike other things, and I'm definitely open about criticizing him when it's due.
Okay, fair enough. I don't think that you should probably like a president if the thing that you are apparently very passionate about, although we haven't been doing much talking about that. You've been doing your rage bait stuff mostly. But
well, remember, people ask me questions like
I'm
they're
still
coming up
talking.
and what was that?
I said I was still talking. You interrupted me.
Yeah, but you got to understand also that this is my shit, not yours. Okay, so that you understand that you're the guest on mine. But what I'm saying is that the way people are coming up and asking me questions, so it goes based what they ask. So
okay, but I wasn't done with my complete thought.
Go
is what I was
ahead,
saying.
go ahead.
How can you support a person who is directly doing the bidding of your greatest enemy? That doesn't seem to make any sort of sense. Why don't you just not support any of them? Because all of them are going to like Israel no matter what, because Israel's the one that's funding them.
For sure, and that's a problem that I've identified many times, and we need to get Israel money out of politics. But I do think
Supporting Trump's not how you do that, though.
Well, here's the thing. I think he's far better than Kamala Harris.
Okay.
So my job really, when I voted for Trump, I was doing it to ensure that she doesn't get into office.
Okay. I didn't vote at all because it does
that's fine.
suck.
That's fine, and that's your right. But I looked at it like, me being from Florida and Florida being a very important state. I looked at it like we got to ensure that Kamala Harris does not get into office. So I voted for Trump, and
What
I don't
about
regret it, even
Kamala
though there are
Harris's-
things that piss me off that he's done. For
Sorry,
sure.
what'd you say?
I said I voted for Trump. I don't regret it, though he has done things that I dislike and I disagree with strongly, like Israel, for example.
The thing is, though, Kamala Harris and Trump fundamentally do the only big difference, like actually that they'll actually do, is immigration stuff. And I know you love the immigration stuff, right? Like
Yeah, I am very pro immigration enforcement.
Because you were in the Homeland Security, right?
Well, I've had pro immigration enforcement before I did that, but yeah.
Okay.
I think
So,
mass immigration is a problem.
When you were in Homeland Security, did you ever deal with like a human trafficking case?
Yes.
Are you aware of what Trump did?
Yeah, what did he do? Go ahead.
Rape children on Epstein's Island?
Well, the whole Epstein thing, I've been very critical about that. I think they completely fumbled the whole Epstein file thing.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I mean, Pam Bondi and him and Kash Patel, and they need to do better with that. So,
well, because they're guilty. That's why they fumbled it.
Well, you can make that argument. That's fine. I wouldn't necessarily. I'm waiting until all the facts come out, and we can obviously assess it. I don't believe what Ghislaine Maxwell said during the interviews.
Yeah,
So
obviously.
we can agree on there.
So do you think the facts are going to come out?
Well, man, I'll be honest with you. They still haven't declassified JFK, and it's been like, what, decades later. So
I guess
9/11, we're still waiting on that, too.
Yeah, that's never happening. But
yeah, definitely not.
My main point is, Trump. So you dealt? Did you? You never answered. Did you deal with human trafficking cases? I don't remember what you said.
Yes, I did.
So how can you support a person that was involved with something like that? If you've seen how bad that it could be, the worst of it, I'm sure you have, that was your experience. How could you stand there and say, I like Trump? I like someone that was involved in, I'm going to be blunt, literally raping children.
Again, we
Which
don't
you
have
said
the
you think
conclusive
happened.
proof at this point. And on top of that, they've lied on Trump about a bunch of different things, so I'm going to wait until all the information comes out. But what I will say is this. I don't vote on people based on liking them so much, as in I look more at their policy and...
But you don't like his foreign policy either.
Well, when it comes to Israel, no. But I do think that what he's doing with Russia is good. I do think that him at least talking with Russia and the Kremlin and trying to end the war is good, versus the Biden administration didn't talk to him for years. So I think that's a W. He has ended a couple of other conflicts since he's been in office, which is good. He's on his run to try to get the Nobel Peace Prize. And I like what he's doing with immigration, which, again, are all things that I think would have been way better than the Kamala Harris administration coming in.
Fair enough. I can't tell you what to believe, so I'm not going to. But I will say, I think fundamentally supporting someone who is in support is the bitch of your greatest enemy. Rape children, probably, I mean, if we're being honest, is pretty, I would say cowardly.
Cowardly, okay.
Yeah. But we can agree to disagree. You can, if you want to get.
I would argue that. I mean, at least I went out and voted. I would say it's more cowardly to not vote than if you're going to use that argument. I mean, at least I'm looking at it like
well,
I'm gonna.
I wasn't old enough to vote.
What was that?
I was not old enough to vote.
Oh, okay. Then
Yeah.
just say that.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's fair. But yeah, I mean, again, I think Trump is a far better option than Kamala Harris.
Okay, I don't.
Okay, you think Kamala would have done better?
I don't know. I mean, she was just going to do whatever Biden was doing. I mean, they have the reason Kamala lost is because she had no time to actually create an actual policy. It was just the same Biden policy, which is why she lost, because no one wanted that because it sucked.
Well, she also sucks and can't talk or articulate her thoughts. At least Trump went and
Trump's
did
a great
interviews and
talker.
shit. Yeah, he's not the best speaker either, but he at least does interviews.
Bruh.
She just went ahead and.
These are the guys that like you, bro. Come on.
Hey man, hey bro, see, they have at least they have the balls to say something. A lot of people agree with me in silence.
Right now.
They agree with me in silence. A lot of guys, so they have the nuts to say, yeah, fuck yeah.
I guess so.
And we
You've
need
never
more
been
guys like
punished in your
that
life
that are
because
willing
I
to
got
go
nuts.
ahead and step in against soy boys and women that want to sit there and take over our country and just make us weak.
What are you talking about?
Yes.
The guy in charge is the guy you like. You're saying someone who's taking
He's
over
better
your
than Kamala
country.
Harris, bro, for sure.
But who's taking over your country? Nobody's taking
Here's
over
the
your
thing.
country, bro.
You're always. It doesn't. You got to understand that when Israel's kind of not even a topic when it comes to that, because both the left and the right are going to always support Israel.
True.
That's something that we're going to have to fix later on. But when it comes to all the other issues, I think Trump was better than Kamala Harris. When it comes to immigration, when it comes to law enforcement, when it comes to ending the war with Russia and Ukraine, he's superior to her in every single way. So
I really disagree on the immigration thing. I don't.
How so you think we should just continue to let people in?
No, obviously not. I think we should have a system that makes it so it's easier for people that aren't criminals to get in and harder for criminals to get in, because an open border is obviously a bad idea.
Well, we had
but
we had an open
deporting
border
random
under her.
innocent
We had an open border under Kamala Harris.
We did not.
Shut that. Yes, we
That
did.
is not
She was the border czar for a while. Come on,
It was
dude.
not an open border. There was still. Do you know you had to you had to do things to get into the country? That's why people got married to get into the country. They didn't just show up. What the fuck are you talking about? There was
Do you know
a
how
wall.
many aliens were coming in through
There
the
was a
southwest
wall.
border? Do you know how many aliens were coming in through the southwest border?
Oh, I know a
under
lot.
Biden?
But they were doing that illegally. It wasn't an open border. They were legally entering.
Yes, because it was an open border because they were not shutting down the border. Is my point. They were coming in illegally through the southwest border.
There was still a wall. It was still you still had to do things to get into the country. What do you mean by open border? Just define open border.
Holy fuck,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. Well, you couldn't walk through.
Yes, you can,
genuinely
dude.
could not.
Yes, you can. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. They were okay. Number one, not enough border patrol agents. Number two, they were not necessarily when they were arresting these aliens. Right? What they're supposed to do is do something called an expedited removal. They were not doing that. They were giving them notice to appear as NTAs. Okay, And what ends up happening is they give them these NTAs, and then they're allowed to go into the country to somewhere that they're going to go to and stay, and then they get a court hearing later on. That's a problem. They were basically letting these guys come in. There were CBP-1, the app, where they're able to fly to wherever the hell they wanted to go. We basically had an open border where if they came in and claimed asylum, they'd be able to stay. We had a complete open border. Now we've been able to shut it down thanks to Trump. And finally, he's doing interior enforcement. No other president has done that because everyone's a fucking pussy and a cuck and doesn't want to be labeled as Gestapo or authoritarian. So we actually have ICE doing their job for the first time in decades, going out and arresting people that are here illegally. So he's 100% better than her in immigration in every single way. Okay? If I'm going to be honest, we need an immigration moratorium. We need to shut down all immigration for like 5 to 10 years, revamp our visa system, revamp our border, revamp our immigration system when it comes to marriage, because people scam that too. We are getting destroyed in so many different ways when it comes to immigration in this country that most people are not aware of. Like you, for example, didn't even know that we had an open border. That proves my point. Most Americans are retarded when it comes to INA and immigration.
Don't call me that. I was thinking that...
You made a retarded comment, honestly. You said that we didn't have open borders when we did.
No, I just misunderstood what you were saying.
Oh, yeah.
I actually did, and I don't agree with what you're saying. I just don't agree with deporting like women and children. I just think it should be easier to get in if you genuinely need asylum from your country, because that's what America was built on, is immigration.
Yeah, but the problem is that people abuse the immigration
that is
system.
a problem.
They falsely claim asylum all the time. They get married. There's like an entire marriage fraud industry out there where people are paying $10,000, $20,000 to marry someone, get their K-1 visa, and then they literally divorce within 2 years. Like, we are getting, there's people that come in on F1 visas and overstay. There's probably a bunch of students that got F1 visas to come here and didn't even fucking show up to class. Like, we have a very bad immigration problem, and most Americans are completely unaware of it because you're not going to know this stuff unless you work in immigration type work. We're getting beat in so many ways. They'll sit there and show you the kid getting deported with their mom. You're like, oh my God, look at that. That's so sad, isn't it? But the reality is they broke the laws. They're here illegally. Send them back.
I agree with you on the issue. My point earlier that I was trying to say is that it's too difficult for like actual people to get in unless it's illegally. If there was a system where so for instance, just better background checks. I'm not a Democrat. I don't agree with overregulation of the government at all. I just don't think it should have gotten this bad in the first place. But I also don't think that there should be random people getting tackled in a Home Depot in front of civilians. Like, that's just fucked up.
For decades, we didn't enforce immigration, so now we have to. Like, you got to, for literally decades, because everyone was too scared and too pussy to handle the immigration problem, right? Yeah. We've allowed this problem to literally multiply exponentially, so now we actually have to do something. Trump is the first president I've seen in a very long time actually push not just a stronger border, but also enforce interior immigration, which they had not done in forever.
Okay, you said that already. I just said I don't agree.
And that's a good thing.
I just don't agree with the solution.
All right, who's up next?
Yup. We got the van.
Guess I put the prize in the bag. Hey, let's go, man.
You said Israel is our greatest enemy, yet majority of the points that you stated are due to America supporting Israel. So why don't you focus on what America's doing wrong?
What America's doing wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to stop giving money to Israel. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's something that we're doing wrong right now.
All right. Yeah, appreciate it.
No worries. Yeah, $4 billion is like way too much for no reason. We get no strategic benefit from it at all.
Hey, I was just wondering about your point about women having lower intelligence and everything. Yeah, here we go again, okay? I have questions about that. Why do you believe women are less intelligent than men or deserve less opportunities?
Because men are just better than women at almost everything. Now, with that said, now, on average IQs, men and women are fairly equal. But if we're going to go ahead and look at the people that, and I've talked about this earlier too, most retards tend to be men, but most geniuses also tend to be men. So we dominate the extremes on the positive and on the negative.
Okay, where is your evidence that most geniuses tend to be men? Are you sure it isn't just people like you trying to, not let women be in like the leadership jobs? Like
I mean, it's just
you
a
said
fact.
earlier.
Most geniuses are men.
No, but you said earlier that, men are natural leaders. And
Yes.
leadership is not something you're born with. It comes with your prefrontal cortex. Men and women have identical prefrontal cortexes.
Okay, so a component of leadership is strength. And unfortunately,
Physical strength,
yes,
sure.
that is a component of leadership because guess what? The monopoly of force, a lot of the times, is going to dictate. That's a heavy factor whether if you're going to be a leader or not.
Okay,
and
so
unfortunately,
do you
women
think
don't have the monopoly of force. You
if
guys have to
I'm-
use other men to go ahead and get your whim pushed forward.
If you think I'm trying to be in, a role in society that's moving society forward, because you said women don't do that either, that I have to
Not the same
physically
level as
fight
men.
other people to do that. You're talking about physical disadvantage.
Yes.
In terms of being a leader, like in the world and in jobs.
Well, that is an important component to being a leader. You do need to be physically capable to some degree. Every
okay,
revolution,
but I'm talking about emotional.
every revolution was led by men, not women, for a reason.
Yeah, because men didn't let women be part of it.
Thank God.
No, thank God.
Why do I want someone on the side of me that's going to be emotionally erratic, going to be weaker?
I disagree that women are more emotionally erratic. Like men throw fucking. Sorry for cursing. I don't know
No,
if
you're
that's
fine. You
allowed.
can swear, but there's emotional erraticness right there. But the point I'm trying to make is,
There's
if you've noticed,
emotional eradication
if you notice,
everywhere.
all the women that if you notice, the guys, they quietly waited in line, but it was the women that screamed out, so triggered. Do you notice that earlier?
No, I noticed also plenty of men screaming out. You're making stuff up.
No, when they were waiting in line, it was the women that screamed out in line and just left, got pissed off.
Okay, and they may have had class or something. I was standing over there with a group of guys literally just screaming their heads off. I couldn't hear anything.
Well, I didn't hear them, and they weren't waiting in line like the women
you're
were.
using anecdotal evidence.
No, but I'm saying the women were waiting in line trying to talk, and then they just got frustrated and just screamed and walked out.
As
None of the guys
are men.
did that.
I've been the one waiting in line.
Sure.
I've seen plenty
You're not
of
a retard
men
like the
leave
other ones.
too. Okay, but you just said that men were more commonly.
The guys that were waiting in line is my point. None of the guys that were waiting in line were screaming out like idiots. The women were.
Okay, I was in line, and yes, they were.
Yes, and you were calm. I didn't hear them scream out like the women did.
Okay, I did. I'm in the line. Your anecdotal evidence doesn't even apply because you weren't even there. I don't know the point you're trying to make. What
Okay.
I'm trying to
Go
say
ahead.
is that women are not less intelligent than men and should deserve equal opportunities in the workplace and in everything. Like you said, when they're in school, they should prioritize having a family. Why doesn't that
Why
fall
should they
on the men as
deserve?
well?
Why should they deserve? Why don't they earn?
They do earn, but
A
they're
lot of the times they don't.
okay. Sure,
We
a lot
lower
of the
standards
times
for them
men
all the
don't.
time, and that's the problem.
Physically, maybe, but I don't believe
That's a problem.
Okay, and I agree that women are physically less strong than men, and I concede that entirely. That is a true fact. But I don't think that has anything to do with whether or not women can be in certain jobs that aren't physical or be just as smart as men.
Look, are women capable of doing certain jobs alongside men at a high competency? Of course, but the majority can't.
And
And
why
that's
do you
my
think
point.
that?
An average guy, right? An average guy is going to be significantly better than the top tier woman, or be competitive with the top tier woman, and that's my point.
Intellectually, because I highly disagree.
Well, physically,
physically, sure.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
That's the only thing you're going back to.
because that monopoly of force is super important, and women tend to forget about that. All the rights and all the privileges that you enjoy are because men are defending it, not women.
Okay, because men were the only ones allowed to be in leadership positions when those rights were made. That's the whole point.
even now, the rights that you enjoy are still enforced by men.
Yeah, because
Women only have rights and
assholes
privileges
like
because we give them to you.
are saying that women shouldn't be allowed to enforce them.
Because they can't.
Because
they physically can't. See how it all comes back circle? Everything that you
don't think
enjoy
it
is
does.
by
I
men.
think you're talking in circles.
Because you don't make sense. You're making the argument of should, could, and woulds. I'm telling you what is. Women enjoy rights and privileges because men fight to defend them for you. But women don't have a monopoly on force, men do. So the society that you enjoy is propped up, created by and protected by men, not women.
Okay, created by, because back then women weren't allowed to help create it because of people like
They
you.
still don't create anything.
They
Despite the
try
fact
to.
that they're more educated, they still don't create anything. Men are still the majority of inventors. Men are still building in the majority of the buildings. Men are still the majority of construction workers. They're majority of STEM. They're the majority of everything. So despite the fact that women are more educated and go to better schools and graduate at a higher rate, etc., men are still dominating a lot of these fields that keep society going.
Okay, if women are graduating more and getting more educated and yet men are still having these fields, I think you're proving my point.
Yeah, because women, here's the thing, because they go into
'Cause
stupid
they didn't
jobs. They get
physically
useless
fight for
degrees.
it, they didn't do this
Underwater
at the job
basket
interview.
weaving. Like, if I guarantee you, if we looked at like what the women are majoring here, it's a bunch of dumb shit versus what a lot of the guys here are majoring in. Probably will help them get a job.
Okay,
because
well,
men
I'm glad
are
that
held
that's
to a.
your guess,
Here's
but
the
I'd
reality.
like to see your evidence
Men are
for
held
that.
to a way higher standard than women are when it comes to being an earner, and we have a proclivity to work harder than women do. This whole
Yeah, I
wage
think
gap myth,
something
it's a
of-
lie. Women earn less because they deserve less.
I do. Women do not deserve less, but
Yes, they do.
Okay, we
They
are
earn less
talking
'cause
in
they deserve
circles.
less.
I think we can agree that we disagree, but thank you for debating.
That's fine. But on average, they take more vacation time, paternity leave. They work in jobs that are stupid. They don't have as much hours worked. They don't work as hard. And they don't go into fields that pay as much. That's just the reality. Women would rather be in an HR office somewhere firing a black guy for being an idiot than necessarily doing any real work.
Hi, Myron. I'm here to talk about your perspectives on women in business and their role in like the corporate world.
In the corporate world? Okay.
Yes, and that specifically in business because I'd like to use our own Darla Moore as an example of why women can create impact and change.
Who's Darla Moore?
Darla Moore is the founder and funder of our business school. She funded.
Is she a Jew?
What?
Can we look? Could somebody do an early life for me real quick? The
Okay.
homies over here.
So
She a Jew?
Darla Moore, I mean,
And then how'd
is
she
a-
get her money? Did she get it through divorce or endowment? Or
No,
like,
she flipped businesses that were led by men and actually created them into an economic and prosperous business.
I wonder
And
where
that-
she got her money.
Okay.
Because all the richest women typically get it through divorce or somebody
Okay,
dying
I'm
or
not going to
trust.
get rage baited by
That's
this,
fine.
but I'd also like to point out that that people like you are the reason why we don't prosper in terms of our GDP and our economic potential because minority and women-owned businesses, if we actually gave them the resources and they weren't being constantly systematically challenged by people such as with your beliefs, they would contribute into $3.9 trillion. And also I'd like to go on to your point that women are too emotional. Can you give me more of like a reason on why you think that?
Well, women tend to be emotional. It is what
Why?
it is. Like there's
Why?
a bunch of different reasons.
Why?
But let's
Biologically.
go. Hold
Give
on.
me a reason.
Let's
What's
go
the
back to
chemicals?
let's
Give
go
me-
back real quick because you made the whole comment about like women being more in business is a good thing or whatever. I mean, look, we can always like cherry pick and find examples of what it is. We can make the argument about Cracker Barrel, right? Like I said earlier, they changed their design because of a woman, and their stock went down like 50%. Or we could talk about
That's
Gillette.
because they pissed off a bunch of racists.
Oh, now it's a bunch of racists. What about
Well,
people that just?
I mean, I've been to Cracker. That doesn't make me a racist, but a lot of people think it's a woke agenda. Maybe that was just
Yeah,
more of a
that's-
marketing
yeah.
or a consumer choice.
Yeah, and here's the thing, like people are just tired of the woke agenda is my point. So this stupid woman with glasses decided, let's go ahead and change the legacy logo and make it more, not
But like,
a guy
do
standing there.
you agree or
and
do
they
you not
lost a
agree
bunch of
that
money.
there is
So-
potential economically for not just the business world, but for the United States if we let these women in business have resources, if we let them in these leadership positions? Because I just gave you the analytics. I gave you the data.
See, you gave an example of one person, and I'm telling you, well, here's
That's
another
not
woman
just
in a
one person.
position
I'm
of power.
saying that if we
Here's
fund
another
these
woman in a position of
minority-owned
power that
or
made their stock
women-owned
go down like 50%. Or Gillette, how they had that stupid masculinity commercial, which a woman went ahead and led that one, by the way, and they lost billions of dollars as well. Because the woke agenda tends to appeal more to feminist mindset because women want to go ahead and equalize everything for everybody. And now you're talking about
Unequalized.
GDP.
Give me
Here's
an
the
example
thing.
of unequalized.
China is growing faster than everybody else. And guess what? Women are second-class citizens. So if we fucking go ahead and continue to allow women to be, have this egalitarian society where everyone is equal and we're going to keep pushing porn and women being whores and pushing for education, China's going to overlap us.
Why do you label
And
every
that's-
woman as whores?
I didn't say every.
But that's like your main point when you make arguments in terms of this is why women need to be in these subjected positions. They need to be in assistant positions because I feel like you need to diversify your perspective more into that women, like, for example, like I don't go out and party every night, okay? I am
Yeah, but a lot do.
Okay, but that doesn't mean that's not everyone. And just because you think you can take away
lot of girls do.
resources, and what?
Well, being a whore is bad.
Okay, can I ask, are you in a relationship? No, you're not.
Anyway, that has nothing to do with anything.
Okay.
I'm a woman, a professional womanizer.
Anyways, let's go on to let's go back to the women who can lead in corporate positions.
You brought up the whole thing. You brought up the whole idea of like, oh yeah, we need to put more women in business. Blah blah.
We do, but we have people like you who think that the hormonal cycle can influence the changes that we want to make in companies or just our decision-making process. But that's not true.
Yeah, well, it's not just
by
that.
your
it's
logic.
Not just that. I think again,
okay, go
putting
ahead.
women in just because they're women and like we care about women's opinions is the problem. Look,
I'm not talking about DEI. I'm talking about women who can work for what they do.
But if we got a female that's competent that can actually contribute, great. But the problem is that we don't put women in positions because they're competent. We put them because we want some tits in the room. So that's the problem. And the other issue also is that if we're going to go ahead and talk about like GDP or whatever, like I said before, China's our biggest competitor. We need to stop wasting time defending the Jews and focus on fucking China.
And we could do that if we actually funded businesses that were led by minorities or women.
Is because they don't give a fuck what women think. Okay, that is why China's growing at an exponential rate.
And this is why we could actually be number one in the world if we didn't have people like you constantly.
This is why Asia is doing pretty damn well with innovation because they tell women to shut up.
Okay, and I like I said, I just gave you the statistics of if we didn't tell women to just shut up and stay in their place. But I'm curious on like why do you biologically think that women are only good for sandwiches, birth giving, being quiet in the corner of like a corporate environment? Like why?
I think that's what they're good at. I think all
like
the guys know
why
how to
though?
groove.
Why? You don't have any biologically, yes, men are stronger and obviously I can't fight
and better
one
than
of those
everything
dudes,
else pretty much.
But in terms of like your justification is because they're more emotional. And I'm guessing that because that comes from like what? That's what my question is. Why do you think that? Not from just like your ideology that women can't do certain things because they're women.
I'm just going off biology that men are better than women at almost everything. It's
but
just the
you
truth.
can't give me a reason why, which that
I just
you
gave it
suck
to you.
at debating.
It's
You can't even give me actual
the
facts.
truth is the truth. Like,
there's no truth because you haven't backed it up by data or analytics.
Okay, how about this one? Do 20 push-ups right now.
I'm not.
Okay,
No,
exactly. That's my point. That's my
irrelevant.
point. You can't even do 20 fucking push-ups, and most
What
women
does that
can't.
have to do with what I can
So
do
the-
in a business
because the fact that you can't do 20 push-ups.
What does how many do you do?
Hold on, it builds upon itself.
When
So
I'm
here's the
applying
thing:
for a job, do
the
they
fact
ask me
that you can't do 20 push-ups.
I can do. No, they don't, which means it's irrelevant to our debate.
See, this is the problem, right? Women aren't able to like come to logical conclusions after like starting somewhere. So let me go ahead and help you here. Let's start from the beginning. The fact that you can't do 20 push-ups means you're physically inferior. The fact that you're physically inferior means that someone has to protect you from the people that are physically superior.
understand.
That's a man.
I
So the
think you're
man
not
has to
listening
protect
to
you
my
to be able to
point,
go ahead
and
and say
you're
the
kind of
dumb shit
going
that you're
into
saying right
circles.
now
I'm
because
saying
you can't
that
even defend your
I'm saying
positions
claim
physically
is
at all.
automatically
That's my
not
point.
justified, nor is it
Monopoly
right.
of force runs society.
You're not giving me a justification on like but I asked you, why do you think, not because of push-ups. I don't know why you're laughing. I don't know why you're laughing because just because I can't do 20 push-ups doesn't make me a productive worker in any type of like workforce.
Well, here's the point. I'd rather hire a fucking dude that can do the 20 push-ups and be just as productive as you. Bam. There we go.
Okay. Come do 20 push-ups, girl. Come on, what's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
All the way down.
14, 15,
all the way down.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So how about that? Do you think she's fit in the workforce? Do you think she can actually work in the workforce?
No, still. No, still.
Oh my gosh. Well,
You know what's crazy? You know what's the interesting part? She probably goes to the gym all the time, trains really hard, goes super hard, but like some fucking fat guy here can probably do that 22, probably with less struggling.
Okay.
That's the point I'm trying to make. An average guy, because she's going to be like, what, a top 1% girl fitness-wise? Some regular
Yeah,
fat
see, this
dude
is
could
the
probably
guy
do
that
20
was-
as well.
See, this guy right here, he was actually the one yelling the whole time. Yet now he doesn't want to come to the stage.
So
I'm here to fight for a different reason, but I can't do 20 push-ups.
Anyway.
But I think like the whole we should.
Look, again, I'm going off of biological fact. I think men and women aren't
But
equal.
I think like when you
Women
say
are-
biological fact, you're not exactly. You're giving me like in terms of like strength, muscle definition, etc.
Yeah, that's all
we
fact.
all know that's a basic. Like, of course, I know that I'm not going to be like whatever his name over there is, who can't even apparently do push-ups. But like, I know he's probably stronger than me by weight, clearly. But I'm just saying like. But I'm saying like, whoa, oh, don't even get me. You're misogynistic. Like, Anyways, all I'm saying is that honestly, I don't care. Like, I mean, bro's telling me to do push-ups. Why can't he do push-ups? Why can't you do the push-ups? You're the one asking me to do push-ups. Anyways, I hope that I'm not about to get. I'm not really. It's hard to like kind of rage bait me right now, but I'm not exactly rage baited. He hasn't even like proven my point, and neither can any of you.
All right, who's up next?
All right, thank you.
All right. Oh shit, the Jew's back. And we're not
Nice to
live on
see you
YouTube,
again.
so we can say what the
Nice
fuck
to
we
see
want
you
to say
again.
now.
So,
I didn't know that we weren't live, so we're like pre-recording. What's up?
Yeah, so if the Hannibal directive was actually being practiced by the IDF, then how come every single Israeli hostage in Gaza hasn't been found dead or alive?
Why have they been found dead or alive?
No, why haven't they been? If the Hannibal directive was in practice by the IDF,
yes,
then how come every single Israeli hostage right now in Gaza hasn't been found dead or alive? Because if the Hannibal directive says we will do by any means possible to free a captive IDF soldier or Israeli citizen,
yes,
then how come every single Hamas captive hasn't been rescued regardless if they're dead or alive?
Okay, so before I answer this, I'm glad that you did your research and figured out that the IDF kills their own, right, to prevent them being taken so they don't have to deal with hostages. So here's the thing, bro.
That's not even what the Hannibal directive
That's
in the
what
first
it
place
is.
said. No, it's not.
Did you even read it?
It basically says that the Hannibal directive says it would not purposely kill their own, but it says it will go by any means possible,
which means killing their own,
which does mean putting the captive, which could put the captive at risk. But what I'm saying is they haven't, because when I say they haven't, because we have not found every single hostage. We know where every single hostage.
Because here's the thing,
every single hostage
bro,
is.
It's because obviously Hamas was successful and successfully kidnapped some of them. That's why.
Oh, so they did
killed
October
others.
7th. So Hamas did October 7th, not the IDF, because that's what you told me 30 minutes ago. That's what you told me 30 minutes ago. Dude, come here. Here. I have something to show you. Come here.
So here's the thing. I'm not going to go over there.
Here,
So let me just go ahead and address this because I
I
can't believe that you're this dense. Yeah, we're going to go ahead. Yeah. So let me just go ahead and address this real quick. All right. Let me just go ahead. Let's go ahead and address this. So, okay, let me go ahead and address this because this guy clearly doesn't know what he's talking about. So here's the reality, dude. On October 7th, 1,200 people were killed, right? Now, okay, we're going to go into that. So we know that roughly 400 of those people that were killed were IDF, which is enemy combatants, fair game, unfortunately. The loss of life sucks, but that's war, right? So 400 were killed. That leaves us with about 800 total. We know for a fact that at least 200 Israelis were killed by the IDF thanks to the Hannibal directive because they did not want them to be captured, right? And then that leaves us about 600. So at absolute most, Hamas killed 600 people that day. That's obviously a travesty and it sucks.
Hold on, let me finish my point, dude. Now it's 600.
That's obviously horrible. And then another 200 were kidnapped. But the point I'm trying to make is, during the course of the IDF trying to stop the attacks, because remember, they didn't know what the hell was going on. They were shooting tanks into kibbutzes. They were shooting they were using Hellfire missiles shooting at people because they weren't able to identify who the hell was who. A lot of people ended up getting killed by the IDF. Now, when Hamas went in there, their goal is to take hostages. Why?
Oh, so the IDF didn't. So let's say even like theoretically, if your argument was true, like which is not, by the way, just let's get that straight. If that argument
is true, that's what happened on October 7th.
Did not kill their own civilians on purpose, which you were saying 30 minutes ago. So now you're already caving. See here,
bro, what the fuck are you? Look. dude.
I want you.
When
I
they
want
run
you
the
to come
handle
here,
directive,
and I want
you
to
gotta
show- I want
understand.
you to show me
They're
the
just
Israeli
shooting at every
perpetrator.
single car that's making it back to fucking Gaza because they can't afford to have more hostages. So they're shooting at everything, and they don't care who it is because they're looking at it like whether it's a hostage or a Hamas fighter.
It was
it's
pretty
a W.
obvious whether it was a terrorist or a hostage. It was pretty obvious. Here.
Dude, they were killing everybody.
I want you to show me
they
where
were
the
killing
Israeli
everybody.
perpetrator is in this
They
video.
were killing everybody because they didn't want to have to deal with hostage negotiations. Because whenever they have to deal with hostage negotiations, look up a guy named
We'll deal
Khalid
with hostage
Shalit.
negotiations
Look
because
up
we'll
a guy
care about
named
our own
Khalid Shalit.
citizens
He was an
instead of
IDF
putting him in
soldier.
the line of
He was an
fire.
IDF soldier that was captured, and they had to return 1,000 Palestinians to get him back. They don't want to have to do that. And then, like I said before,
Because we care about our own
the
civilians. Yes, we'll
their
go
Hannibal
through
direct-
hell and high water to get him back.
What?
Because we care about our own civilians. Yes, we will pay whatever the price is.
No,
to
it's
get our
actually the
people back.
opposite. That's why they fucking kill their guys now, so they never have to be put in that diplomatic position again.
I want you to show me where the Israeli perpetrator is. Come here in this video.
No,
Come
I'm
here,
not
if you have a
going
pen.
anywhere. Like
Why
I told
not?
you what
Why
it is.
not? I think-
Because dude,
why
you
not?
didn't
I think-
you didn't
I think-
understand
I think
any of
I
this
should be- I
shit.
think I should be
You
at
didn't
that
even know
desk,
what the
and you
Hannibal
should be
directive was
asking
an
me the
hour ago,
questions.
dude.
You should be asking
You
me
didn't
the
even know what the
questions.
fuck it was an hour ago.
You don't know what the fuck is going on.
Like, dude, what's your question? What else do you got? Because you got proven wrong with the Hannibal directive on October 7th.
I told you a question. I want
So,
you
because
to
the
show
reality
me
is
the
this.
Israeli
Here's the
perpetrator in
thing.
this video.
Here's the facts. Now that we went over the numbers,
Well, you
at
change
most-
your facts. Your
at
facts change
most-
every 30 minutes or so.
At most,
because
at most, Hamas killed 600 Israelis on that day, and that is fucking
1,200.
horrible. I just explained to you how it can't be 1,200,
it was-
retard.
it was- yeah, it was-
I
it
literally
was
just told you how it
zero-
can't be
zero
1,200.
30 minutes ago.
I explained it to you how they can't be 1,200. So anyway, going back to what I was saying, 600 got killed by Hamas at the absolute most. That's still horrible. However, Israel went back and killed what? 60,000. And that's just what we know of the people that were killed by Israel directly. That doesn't count for the people that starved. That doesn't count for the people under the rubble. We're getting closer to 300 to 400,000. So let me get this straight. Israel gets 600 of their people killed, and then they go ahead and kill 100,000 plus. Does that sound fair to you?
Well, does the Allies what the Allies did in World War II? Does that sound fair? Does blowing Dresden to smithereens sound fair to you?
It's 2025. We have way more military capabilities than we do before.
Yeah, we've been
also,
using that.
intelligence
We said-
agencies play a way bigger role in wars now.
Sending texts to get citizens out of harm's way and using them as human shields.
Oh, really? That's your argument? Is going to be human shields?
Well, that's what Hamas does. Yes.
Okay.
The Hamas is yeah, they're responsible for their own citizens. Yes.
If they're underground, right? They have all these tunnels. Why would you bomb above ground and kill innocent people then?
Because you have to get above ground to get below.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yo,
that's how the Earth works.
Are you aware of the fact that like Israel ran a 10-year-long operation where they were able to detonate a bunch of phones and pagers and kill people directly? And then when they went ahead in Operation Rising Line and they went and killed a bunch of Iranian military officials as well as scientists, they used like direct missiles to kill them and their apartments. So Israel has the capability of running intelligence operations alongside their military to do direct strikes. But when it comes to Gaza, they don't give a fuck. They're bombing the hell out of them and killing everybody.
Because yeah, you can conduct a direct strike
83%
on several
of the people
military
killed in
officials,
Gaza
but
are
when you have
civilians.
when you have thousands of terrorists hiding beneath a hospital for God's sakes, then
Why is there no
That's
proof
what's
of it being a Hamas base? They said that it was a Hamas base. They didn't show any proof.
it's beneath Hamas's headquarters is beneath the Al-Aqsa hospital in Gaza.
So so you bombed it above and killed a bunch of innocent people. Look, the reality, dude, and this is tough for you to defend. I know
Well,
it is.
that's a direct
you guys
violation of the
killed.
Geneva Convention.
You
You
guys
can't-
have
you
killed
can't
like
build terrorist
100
infrastructure beneath the hospital.
You guys have killed like 100x, damn near, of innocent people compared to the people that were
According
killed on
to who?
October 7th. Like, it's not symmetrical whatsoever. And you're just bombing and killing a bunch of people. This is why it's a genocide going on. And this is why nobody likes Israel.
But nobody likes you clearly. So I mean, it's like,
Dude, you're Jewish.
I think you should. I should be,
Dude,
you
you're
should be
Jewish.
asking me the questions. You should be.
Dude,
asking
you're
me the
fucking
questions.
Jewish and nobody cares. Like, honestly.
And what are you?
Like,
and what are you?
I'm an American patriot.
Yeah,
I'm
so am
America
I.
first, America
I'm
only.
so
Fuck
am I.
Israel.
You know what?
And honestly, a lot of you Jews create a lot of fucking problems. We're going to be honest here. You guys come in and you push your fucking porn. You guys come in and lie about the fucking Holocaust. You guys always will have this victim
Like what?
narrative. You guys want to go ahead and push feminism and LGBTQ and all that other bullshit. Matter of fact, if we're going to talk about trannies, who pushed it? Magnus Hirschfeld. He was a fucking weird gay guy, and the Nazis burned the books. Why? Because they were pushing a bunch of degeneracy. And then we went ahead and we got all this transgender bullshit going on. And what ends up happening with this transgender shit? Kill innocent
That's the
kid.
left,
We got
not the
2
Jews.
Christians kids. They got
That's the
killed
left,
the other
not the
day
Jews.
because of a Jewish construct of transgenderism and homosexuality that Jews push.
Leftist construct.
Yeah, and who are the biggest leftists?
Not the Jews anymore.
Oh, what
Not
was Karl
anymore.
Marx? What was Karl Marx?
I mean, he's a Jew, but he's a communist.
Yeah, exactly. Who's a fucking Jew. So let's be honest, we're going to have that conversation. Israel's created a lot of problems for us, and I don't want to fucking support it anymore. And we got a genocidal fucking crazy warpath people that don't give a fuck about anybody else. You guys kill innocent people all the time. You guys start a bunch of wars. We don't want to be involved anymore. Deal with your own fucking problems. Let your neighbors invade you and destroy you guys because you guys don't want to fucking exercise diplomacy. It's not our problem, dude. Honestly.
No
more aid to
You
Israel.
don't want to come see my receipts? That's all I got to say, that you're a coward.
You don't have any fucking receipts, dude. You didn't even know what the Hannibal directive was. You guys do false flags?
I just told you what it was, and then you changed your number, saying you changed your number, saying that it was zero. Saying it was zero civilians.
All right, you. Let's move to the next person.
You're a coward.
Nobody cares, you. Get out of here. No one gives a fuck. Fuck Israel. Jews create a lot of problems.
Good afternoon.
What's up,
How
man?
are you doing today?
What was that?
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I wanted to first thank you for coming and giving a platform for our young people to speak today.
All right, man.
Thank you.
You're very dapper. I like it.
So I wanted to ask you, can you agree that our nation is one of its most divided times in history?
This is one of our most what? Divided times?
Divided times in history between people, conservatives and liberals.
Sure, yeah. You can make that argument to a degree, yeah.
So how do you think we as a country can foster productive conversation to actually put our country first rather than hating people on the other side of political parties?
Yeah. No, that's a great question. I think it starts with being able to have open discussion, open debate, right? Like kind of what we're doing now, and allow ideologies to clash, and then let the people get educated on what's going on. And then, I think most people have some kind of common sense. The fact that we had Donald Trump and J.D. Vance having to campaign saying like, oh yeah, we're campaigning on common sense, that's very scary. That tells you that like if a president's campaigning on common sense, that it's no longer common anymore. So that's a problem. So I think having open debate, limiting censorship, having these tough discussions, allowing all parties to the table to discuss ideas, I think that's step one. And then hopefully we could come on some, some equal footing and equal ground. But if we don't allow people to come in with their ideologies, how the hell are we going to figure out coming to an equal ground if we're going to exercise more censorship? So that's what I think.
Exactly, Ruby. So many doors are closed before they're even open in this country because of cancel
Exactly.
culture and censorship. It's terrible.
Yeah, and like, for example, the stuff I'm talking about Israel and stuff, what I just said about trans and Karl Marx and Magnus Hirschfeld, a lot of people here might not know this because it's been censored for so long because we know who runs the censorship regimes and who runs the social media platforms. So we can't even have these discussions because it's offensive to some people. So I think us being able to talk about ugly truths or dark history or challenging certain narratives that were put out there, it's very important.
Exactly, I agree. And I'm not here to take up too much time today, but I had one more question for you.
Sure.
I'm a man of business, but also a man of exercise. Can I come up there and do 20 push-ups with you right now?
How about the end?
Okay,
At the end, we will.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
At the end, we will. Sure.
Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you
Appreciate
so
it.
much, bro. Great questions. We need more guys like that, open-minded, dapper, etc. Who's up next? Hello. Yeah, we're not live anymore, so we're just like pre-recording, so we're just fucking lit. Oh, we're live on Rumble still? All right, cool. Awesome. Yeah, definitely W Rumble, man.
Hello.
Free speech is something that we need. Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good, good.
I want to just bring 3 points that you bring, claiming that women are better than men. The first was physical strength. Can I ask you a question? If physical strength is something that you are bringing as a reason men are better, can we say that elephants are better than men then?
Elephants are better than what?
Than men, because they have more physical strength than men.
Okay, this is comparing apples to oranges once again, but okay.
No, you bring that physical strength, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then
But an
elephants
elephant
are
isn't a
better.
human.
Yeah, but it's the physical strengths they have.
I mean, look, if we're going to go down this road, you know what? Elephants are probably more useful with their tusks, worth more money. So,
Then
yeah.
men then? Then
So-
men then?
Yeah.
Then men?
Yeah, sure. Like a tusk is worth quite a bit of money. I'll
Okay.
probably use
Okay,
that
you
to a
answered
degree.
your own question.
Sure.
The second was like these buildings that we can see around.
Yes.
Okay, we appreciate that. Men build that. But let me tell you one thing. The mic I'm holding and you are holding and it's connected to Bluetooth and you are shouting, that is created by a woman. The laptop you have there, the first algorithm was written by a woman. The GPS that you have in your phone and you turn that on and you go to your office, that has been created by a woman. When you lay down in your bed and you turn on your Wi-Fi, that is something that women did.
Wi-Fi was not
And
built
the
by
last
women. None of
thing-
these things
and
were
the last thing,
all lies.
go please read, then come speak here. The third thing, you're bringing the example of push-ups. Can you carry a baby in your belly for 9 months, then I can say you are better than a woman then. My point is,
You need
no
a man to
one
carry the
is
baby in the
better,
first place.
nor men, not women. They are here to complete each other. The world can be built by a mutual respect, not saying I am better or you are better than me. And bringing from your own religion, as I think you said you are Muslim, and I am a Muslim as well. So the best one is the righteous one, not the man or nor the women. Thank you.
All right, do you speak Arabic?
I am not Arab.
Where are you from? Like, what's
I don't
your?
want to say personal information.
You don't want to say where you're from?
No.
All right. Well, look, where's Muhammad when you fucking need him? Holy shit, man, dude. Like, I don't know why this woman is here and talking about elephants and all this other stuff. Like, bro, you're Muslim, so you should know that men and women are not the same at all. You know that we are the leaders of you guys.
Bring a reason
And
from your
quite
own
religion.
religion.
اسكتي.
Bring a reason. No. I'm
I'm
not here to listen. If you are asking me to
anyway,
listen, so you should listen as
yeah,
well.
we should get Muhammad out here. So, look, man, it's very simple. Number one, women didn't invent Wi-Fi. That's a fucking lie. And let's assume that they did invent GPS and all this other stuff.
If you are saying
men
that's
invented
a
the cars for the
fucking lie,
GPS.
it
Men
means
invented
you
the
have
roads for the
never
fucking
read
GPS. Shout out to
book
Henry
and
Ford, real
history,
nigga, man.
and you are just speaking
And
your
so,
own
yeah,
words.
Henry Ford was a real guy.
Which is not
But-
true. Okay, I am a debater, and I did research about that for over 7 years. So
Muhammad
please
in the
just
wind.
don't speak.
Where's Muhammad, bro, when you
Thank
fucking
you.
need
I
him?
don't want to discuss an 80-degree Fahrenheit because this is not the place to discuss. Thank you.
Anyway, so again, a couple of these things he mentioned, like I find interesting, Wi-Fi was not created by women, Bluetooth or any of these other things, GPS. Let's assume women did create it. Well, who created the roads for the GPS to be effective? Who created the cars for you to be able to even use the GPS? Like, again, like I said before, like women come in like an assist role, right? And they're like, look at what I did here, whatever. It's like they're the retarded kid with the fucking finger painting. It's like, oh, this is so beautiful, thank you so much. But like, I already have a fucking portrait over here. That's what women do. They contribute a little bit and they feel like I did so great or whatever. It's like, bruh, come on, man. It's like, okay, congratulations, you guys figured out GPS when we built the entire infrastructure for GPS to make sense.
Hey, sir.
What's up?
My name is Cody. It's nice to meet you.
What's up?
I'm not here to yell at you. Not here to debate with you. I really don't think I have much to debate with you because despite what many here believe, I actually agree with you on some of the things you say.
Let's go. America slowly getting more base. Let's go.
That's going to make the YouTube. All right, but I do have more of just a question, a simple question, and it's, are you religious at all? My asking is...
I'm not.
Okay, so not Muslim, not Christian, not Jewish.
I grew up in a Muslim household, but I'm
Okay.
not religious.
Okay, I was more like just curious as to why.
Well, I mean, you know, something that I definitely want to, you know, become closer to. I do think that religion is very important. I do think that it answers a lot of problems in modernity. I've just never been that religious myself, but I do have a great deal of respect for all the, you know, all the three religions of the book. Okay. Paganism and Hinduism and shit, though, that's just weird. I don't believe in paganism. I think that's a fucking problem. If you're worshiping idols and shit, you're a fucking weirdo. So, yeah.
So my reason for, well, the real reason I'm really asking is because, so I'm a Christian. I follow Jesus Christ.
Mhm.
I believe he's the Lord and Savior. I believe that he... I believe that he came and died for our sins, for my sins, for your sins, for everyone else's here sins. That's why I follow the Bible. I feel like that's my moral code. My moral code is set on the Bible. A lot of people here may not be, you know, religious. They may have different types of moral codes. Some follow the Quran, some follow the Torah. I follow the Bible. And my question was more like, are you open to Christianity? Are you open to Jesus? Because like you said, you have a great deal of respect for Jesus, for the Christians, for their belief. You said earlier, I believe you said earlier that they have you respect the things that they stand for. So my question is, are you open to learning about Jesus?
Yeah, I've been studying the Bible a bit. My guy Andrew Wilson's been awareing me. He's actually the one that taught me about how modern Israel is not the Israel in the Bible that they, these stupid evangelicals always try to push and justify with their dispensationalism. So I've been learning a bit. I do think that understanding the religious context, especially when it comes to this conflict, makes you more educated on it. The Islamic faith obviously has a great deal of respect for Jesus. I mean, if you insult him in a Muslim country, they are going to come and whoop your ass. You can't go to Saudi Arabia and speak poorly about Jesus. So, I am studying the different religions, trying to understand that better to make me more aware of global conflicts, because unfortunately religion does play a significant role in a lot of these conflicts.
Okay, like I said, I agree with you on a lot of things. I'm actually from California. I'm a South Carolina student from California, so I come from an area where there's not a lot of freedom of speech like this.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, as you probably know, Turning Point, USA, they got their tent torn down at one of the UC schools. But coming here, experiencing a lot of freedom like this, it's pretty cool. However, last year I was also here watching you, and your main argument was that women deserve less. And my main, I guess my question onto that is, where does that stem from for you? Is that your own personal beliefs? Is that the Muslim respect for women and men? Like, where does that stem from for you?
So like, yeah, so when I say women, why women deserve less, right? And this is my book, by the way, where I talk about this. It's only less than 100 pages because women deserve less. But, you know, I talk about giving less money, less marriages, less social media time, less attention, etc. Now, when I say that, what I'm saying by that is I need men to be able to put themselves first, get in a position where they're successful in the first place, then to bring a woman in as an accessory and provide for that woman and do their duties, right? Because I think men should understand that, you know, based on all the books of the religion in the book, like, men are supposed to be the providers and the protectors, and I truly do think that men need to do that for their wife. If she does want to work on the side, that's fine. But I also think that men need to understand and keep their eyes open that we live in a different dating marketplace. Women have changed significantly. A lot of them don't believe in traditional values. A lot of them think that they're equal to you. A lot of them, if you tell them, hey, can you make me a meal, she'll tell you make it yourself. And I think that's extremely problematic, and I think men need to navigate the dating marketplace now. In 2025 is significantly different than in 1955. So when I tell guys to women deserve less, what I'm saying is you need to go in with a bit of doubt and see if the woman can earn more from you, because you are going to be held to an extremely high standard when you do date her and eventually marry her. So I just, that's what I mean when I say that. I don't want guys to be simps where they're coming into a relationship and doing everything for a woman that doesn't reciprocate. And that's unfortunately where we are nowadays, where a lot of guys don't understand their worth and their woman runs the relationship, happy wife, happy life. This is all a bunch of faggotry that doesn't really make sense or adhere to how the world really works. It's supposed to be happy king, dumb.
Sure, and I actually respect you on a lot of those opinions. Well, I don't want to take up too much of their time. I know a lot of people are here like yelling and want to rage bait with you. But I mean, I just want to share before I leave that Jesus Christ loves you. He loves everyone else here. And I am praying for you. I pray that one day you are able to turn to Jesus Christ and go to church. And I pray that for you, sir. Have a good one.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you. It's the future of America right there, baby. What's up, man?
I have a quick series of questions.
If you could just speak up, please.
I have a quick query of questions, series
Sure.
of questions. So earlier in this debate, you said something along the lines of women rights come from men.
Yes.
You did say that. Can you elaborate, just because it's been like an hour or so since
Yeah, no problem. I'll quickly go through it. Men control the monopoly of force. Since men have the monopoly of force, we are the ones that allow women to have the rights or the privileges they do. And if we wanted to take away, we could take it away. And actually, a minority man could probably get away with taking it away. So that's really what it comes down to. We have the egalitarianism and the equality that we have because men allow women to be equal, and we allow women to have the rights and privileges that they have.
Okay, so men give each other rights as well, correct?
To a degree, yes.
To a degree. So where do rights come from? Just a mutual understanding among men themselves?
Yeah, I mean, you can make that argument. I mean, it really comes, if we're going to be super biological about it, it really comes down to, like, you know, who controls the force, right? So, like, for example, the United States, we're able to do certain things and get away with certain things because we are the world power, right? We don't have to, we can sanction the ICC, for example, and tell them, fuck international law. We don't care that Netanyahu is a war criminal. We're going to sanction you guys. Why? Because we have the monopoly of force. So we can do that.
Okay, so we can do that as men. However, when we look at each other as men, and we like to categorize each other like by race and sexuality, all that other stuff. So who has the force in terms of race, would you say? Like, who has like the majority of force?
I mean, that's a very complex question because it depends on what region of the world are we talking. Like, are we, we're talking about world? Like, are we talking about different regions or America or China? What are we talking?
Let's do America.
I mean, you can, if you're going to go ahead and use the government as a representation, you can say white men.
Okay. And you don't like the idea of discrimination, obviously, right? I would hope so. Perhaps.
Well, look, I'm for discrimination if it discriminates against people that aren't qualified.
Oh, okay.
And that's the way it should be. We should be discriminating based on ability.
Okay, so qualifications. So you don't like the idea of stereotyping, because what if someone just kind of like...
No, I think stereotyping is fantastic.
Oh, actually? Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, because let's be honest here. Stereotypes basically come from pattern recognition, and pattern recognition comes from either observed behaviors that you've seen or what you've seen in general operate. And I think that there's nothing wrong with stereotyping people, because the reality is, as human beings, our job is to quickly identify people and put them in a box as we meet them. You don't have the time to sit there and get to know them and know their name and where they're from and if they're from a good family or whatever. You're just going to kind of go off of what you see. So let's be honest here. If we were all in a dream world, right, and we're walking down the street in New York City, right, and you see 4 black dudes coming at you with Nike, flight suits on, you're probably going to cross the street, right? Let's be honest. Most people here would probably cross the street. Now there's some people here that would be like, no, I'm not racist. I'm going to walk down the street. But a lot of us are not going to take that risk. We're going to cross the street. There's nothing wrong with that. That's pattern recognition based off of stereotypes, which there's nothing wrong with that, because you're trying to put yourself in a situation where you are not the victim of a violent crime based off of the statistics and what you've seen. Now, with that said, I think it's a very valid human response. Now, you can obviously prove stereotypes wrong through merit and, showing that you're a competent individual, but to sit there and say that this stereotypes don't exist or they're bad, it conflicts with reality.
Okay, so you say we can prove stereotypes wrong. Has history not
On
shown...
an individual basis.
Okay, that's great. So so you're not speaking generally anymore. So would you say that women are just generally less or not as good as men just because of the fact that they're women, and that's good?
Well, I mean, the reality is that men just have a natural proclivity to work hard. Women don't, right? Now, are there women out there that can rise to the occasion and work hard and become successful? Of course, but they don't have a natural proclivity to perform like men do, because the reality comes down to this. All the innovation that we see, the world that we see, it was all built on men that want to get laid, because we are put on earth to procreate and have families. A man being able to have a family, or a man being able to get sexual access, is contingent upon his ability to create status, resources, etc. So men have a natural proclivity to work because of sexual access. Women don't have this burden, because a woman, if she's hot, can be useless. There's a reason why they have the whole stereotype of blonde bimbos. Why? Because if she's hot, she's blonde, whatever, she's probably going to be able to get access to men. Or we have the whole concept of women being bimbos in general. Hot girls are stupid. Why? Because if they're stupid, if they're hot, they can afford to be stupid, because there's no natural proclivity on them to perform. But there's no such thing as let's just go ahead and have this economy of guys that are stupid and hot. Women don't value looks as much as men do.
Do you like having moral standards in this society?
Moral standards?
Yes, because you're saying the word naturally a lot, but
yeah.
So let's refer to morals on the basis that rights come from morals, right? We define rights based off of okay, we understand that murder is probably wrong, definitely. So things like that, morals. Morals composes of 2 elements, I would say, logic and emotion. You say men are more logically driven, and then you say women are more emotionally driven. So is it not fair to say that we, men and women, are supposed to build up society together, and it's not just solely the work of the men?
Well, the reality, if we're going to build up families, yeah, that's a man and a woman, but society itself is not built by women, man. I mean, that's just an uncomfortable reality that no one wants to accept, because women simply aren't interested in these things. They're not interested in being construction workers. They're not interested in being power linemen or electrician or plumbers or, doing infrastructure type work. They're just not interested in it, because we are biologically different. Women are more concerned with people. Men are more concerned with things. And this is why we naturally align and go into certain job fields. And if you look at the Scandinavian countries, for example, right? Where they have the most egalitarianism, you can see an even more pronounced distribution of where the women go ahead and go more into nursing or jobs that deal with the social sciences, etc., and then the men go ahead and deal with the jobs that deal with more things. We're just very different. But the point I'm trying to make here is that men have a natural proclivity to work because our identity and our status is contingent upon it. Versus for women, a woman can choose to work, but it's elective. She can still go ahead and marry a higher status man and acquire status through marriage. We cannot do that most of the time. Men must acquire status to be able to increase their status, versus women can marry into it. This is why a majority of women get their wealth through divorce or through prenuptial, not having a prenuptial agreement, whatever it may be, right? Or they're given the value from maybe someone dies or their dad was rich or whatever. That's just the reality. So women just don't have the same proclivity to work as hard as men do, because we have the burden of performance. They don't.
Okay, so and this was all talk about working in the work field. Okay, but like once again, outside of the work field, because morals are not bound by work per se, but you keep using work as an example because I guess
We started with stereotypes, and then you talked about like women, can men work harder than women or whatever. That's why I'm telling you these things about like stereotyping. I think is fine. I think it's natural. It is what it is. And then when it comes to men and women, we are different. Men have a way harder burner performance than women do. It's just what it is. We don't like to admit this, but yeah.
All right, thank you.
All right. Everyone's coming prepared with like notes and shit, man. I like this.
What's up, man?
It's like all off the fly. What's up?
I'm a big fan of yours. Well, not big fan, but I've seen a few of your podcasts. I respect some of your opinions. I just got a couple questions. You feel me? All right, bet. Hold on. All right, question number 1. Gay son or thought daughter?
What was that?
Gay son or thought daughter?
Gay son or what?
Thought daughter.
Yeah, oh God, that's tough. Gay son, because then I'll slap the gay out of him.
Okay. But okay, look.
You gotta slap the fuck out of him on that one.
If he was gay and trans, would that technically be both?
Slap the gay and the trans out of him.
That's
completely justified violence against my kid on that one.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, that's crazy. Okay, and next question. Do you eat ass?
No.
No?
I don't even think guys should lick vagina. If we're gonna be honest, I think eating box is terrible. Men shouldn't do it.
Why do you think that?
Because women are inferior to men. So why she should be sucking your dick, never the other way around.
Wow. So
it's a very submissive thing to do, and I need guys to understand. Like when you come into a relationship with a woman, like you need to come in as the fucking leader, the boss, etc. We don't lick vagina over here. Women are inferior to us. They suck dick and make sandwiches. That's how it goes.
So you.
And trust me, a lot of the women here that are getting mad, that's what they want you to. This is how they want you to think. Like here's another red pill for you guys. What women say versus what they actually want are two different things. Well, I want a nice guy that's gonna treat me well. It's a fucking lie, okay? They want the guy that's gonna tell them, you're dumb, we're gonna do this, I made plans already, you're fucking got your shit together, you fucking put your card down on the date, don't ask her to pay half. This is what women want. They won't admit this because for them to admit this reveals their inferiority to you and the fact that they want a superior. But the reality is feminism is a lie, and everything they tell you about feminism is a lie. Women don't look for their equal ever when it comes to sexual relationships. They want a superior.
So
and we don't lick box. That means you're equal.
So you think that women should only pleasure men?
That's their job. That's quite literally their job. One of the big, like, the reality is sexual access is like half of her job.
So her job is to basically cook, clean, and sexually please you?
Yes.
Jeez.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, if she doesn't sexually please you, you leave her. You find another girl.
Straight like that.
Because okay, I'll give you an example of why. Because everyone here is like, whoa, what the hell, this is extreme. Let's go ahead and go through this again. I want all the ladies here to pay attention. Ladies, let's say you're out with your fucking guy, right? You're at the bar, you're at the club. Some fucking guy walks up and socks you in the fucking face and takes your purse, okay? Scenario 1, the guy that you're with beats the shit out of him and gets your purse back. Scenario 2, he lets him run off and doesn't do anything. I would be willing to bet most of you would leave the man if he allowed you to get punched and take your purse and run away. That's totally fine, right? Because why? He didn't do his job. He didn't fucking defend you like he's supposed to, as should be. I would argue if a girl doesn't fuck you, it's the same exact thing. Her job is to have sex with you and please you sexually. So just like you guys have the right to leave a guy that's a pussy that can't defend you, I have the right to leave you for not giving me pussy.
Wow. That's crazy.
See, and here's the thing. See, I got to put it that way because we live in a world where women can omit their duties and not do what they're supposed to do. But as a man, you're always held to your fucking duties. So if you're supposed to sit there and put your life on the line for a fucking woman, she better suck some goddamn dick. It's fucking crazy. Like, it's fucking wild, bro. Like, oh, no, I want to go ahead. You make your own sandwich. I do, all this other bullshit. Like, bitch, if I got to fucking put my life on the line for you, I better get some goddamn sexual access. Because the reason why I say this is because if the roles were reversed and you let her get beat up, I promise you, she's fucking gone. She's going to be fucking a Nigerian by the end of the night.
Okay. I got one last question for you, right?
Yeah, sure.
So
Good question.
Okay.
Now you guys can see why I'm banned in so many places.
Okay. So look, 100K for each back shot. How many back shots are you taking?
Wait, what? Back shots?
Yeah. You get 100K for each back shot. How many back shots are you taking?
Zero.
Zero?
Zero. Homosexuality is disgusting, and it should be forbidden. It should be like banned. Honestly, bro, like, if I'm gonna be, we're not on YouTube, I could really say what I want. Bro, we should put them in fucking their own sections in society.
What?
Like, yeah. Let me explain why. So my entire worldview is on preserving the innocence and protection of children. That's my worldview is kids come first. So if children come first, we need to create a society that's best for them to grow up. Having a bunch of faggots walk around, right, with weird clothing, trannies, walk-in, all lesbians, all this other shit, that's a problem because I don't want kids to see that shit. So my thing is this, if you want to be gay, you want to be lesbian, you want to be a tranny, fine. Put that degeneracy somewhere else where the rest of us don't have to fucking see it, and I don't have to explain to my kid why you'd prefer to suck dick instead of having a fucking wife. That's what it is. So my thing is always children first. Now, a lot of people don't like this because it goes against, well, equality, bro, and egalitarianism, bro. Fuck that shit. The kids are the future. We must protect the kids, and most pedos are gay. And a lot, yes, they are. Most of the time, I've arrested hundreds of them. They're almost always gay. So we got to keep these sexual deviants away from our kids. And if that means I got to be called a bigot or an asshole or whatever, so be it. They need to have their own fucking sections of society where if they want to acclimate and come out, that's fine. But no PDA. We don't want to know that you're gay. It's, hush, hush, whatever. And then you live in your gay thing. Gay clubs over there, no gay parades, none of this stuff. We don't want to see it.
All right, bro. Appreciate you for your time, man.
No worries, man. It's okay, ladies. We got time. Both of y'all we'll have time to come up. We'll make sure both of you guys get in. No worries.
Okay, can I just take it off?
All right.
Okay. Hi, I don't know your name, but what's your name?
What was that?
What's your name?
Hitler. And now that we're not on YouTube, I wish you guys told me this sooner.
Okay, I was trying to be respectful, but that's kind of crazy, bro. Anyway, okay, so your whole thing about women is like that you want to go
Move
back.
the mic up closer to your mouth.
Okay, I'm
Pause.
sorry.
Yeah, well,
I'm
actually,
sorry.
But yeah, whatever.
So your whole thing about women is that you want to go back and like slut shaming and like make sure that women are appropriate women. Is that like your thing?
Yes, we need to bring back slut shaming 100%.
Okay. So
promiscuous women are not good people.
Right. So when you say women's job is to suck dick and make a sandwich, I just want to.
There's other jobs too, but like that's just some of them.
Okay, right, definitely. I can't. This is just insane that you think this way. Okay, so but when you say that, I don't understand. You're kind of contradicting yourself because if women's job is to suck dick and make a sandwich, then how is that okay for not slut shaming? Because technically, oral sex is not sex.
Okay, well the thing is that, okay, so when I say. Let's go with two different things here. So when I say her job is to have sex with the guy, whatever, that's her man.
That's her man, but not her husband?
Or her husband, whatever it may be.
Oh, okay.
Well, either or. So the point is that she's doing that within the confinements of monogamy, right? And then doing what she's supposed to do. But when it comes to slut shaming, no, he's fine. He's just telling you to talk in the mic so they can hear you. Because you're keeping it all the way low.
Sorry.
But when it comes to that women being promiscuous, yes, that's a problem.
Okay. Right. So, do you eat pussy? Just
What
a
was that?
question. Do you
Sorry?
eat pussy? Is that
I
something?
just said a second ago, no. That's
Oh, you don't?
Never. No guy should be doing it.
I'm sorry.
None of you guys should be eating vagina, dude. And if you guys do like to do it, that means you're probably a faggot, if I'm going to be honest. Something's wrong.
Gay? How is that gay if you're... How is that gay?
Because it's submissive behavior, which means you're gay. It's a woman's job to sexually please you, gentlemen, not the other way around. There's a reason why, like, let's be honest here. Like, it only takes one person to fucking ejaculate and create a kid. God don't care about their nut. Why the fuck should I?
Wait, so you just said it takes one person to make a child? Are you any biology?
No, what I mean as a one person's ejaculation or they're coming.
No, so that's not how biology works. You have to have a sperm and an egg to make a child.
Yeah, but one person has to come to have the kid. The woman doesn't have to come.
Yeah, but you
So in other words, God doesn't care about y'all's ejaculation. Why should I?
well, it's not ejaculating, first off.
Whatever the fuck it is. Who cares? It's
Well,
irrelevant anyway.
I'm just letting you know.
Ejaculating, I don't know. A woman coming, something that doesn't matter. So no one even knows what is it called anyway? I don't even fucking know. A
Yeah.
climax or what?
You obviously wouldn't know.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
Who cares?
No, for real. Who cares? Women suck, honestly.
All right, fair. Anybody? Anything else? Okay, next question. Let's bring on Miss. I don't know what your shirt says, but yeah, go ahead. Thank you for being patient.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm another a woman here arguing feminism, but that's just because
Sure.
that's what I'm passionate about.
Okay.
I just think that, do you think like equality is the way to improve America?
Equality is a way to build America? No.
Why not?
Because when you go ahead and you prioritize equality, you put people in positions that they don't necessarily deserve because you want to be equal.
But before you just said that like it's good to share ideas with everybody, and that's how we improve America.
Yeah, but the ability to share your ideas is contingent upon your competency. So in other words, not everyone's ideology or everyone's opinion matters. And I think that's actually a big issue where we sit here and we take opinions of people that quite frankly aren't qualified or competent enough to give their ideas.
Well, I think everybody is entitled to their opinion.
Even retards?
You shouldn't use that word unless they're medically deficient in. Yeah, it's an offensive word, and I guess you'll laugh at me, but that's okay.
Well, this is exactly why women should be in positions of power, because she's already offended off of a word.
I'm not offended.
You're like, we should have used that word.
It's just not a good
It's
word.
words.
No, it is a word, yes, but words have meaning. They have a lot
Words
of
are words. What is it? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. I think that's very powerful. We need to get back to using that.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, if you get offended off words, then holy shit, we can't even have a real conversation if words are what is. But it's fine. We can entertain it here. But yeah, I mean, look, everyone can be entitled to their opinion, but that does not necessarily mean that you deserve for your opinion to be heard.
Okay, sure, whatever. I just think that you coming up here is why men are the way they are. You're spreading hateful words, which I think is crazy. USC even allowed you to come up here and spread.
It's America. First Amendment.
Yeah, but then you just said other people don't have right to opinions.
Yeah. No, again, everyone has freedom of speech, but not all speech matters.
That's not true. All speech matters.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Your speech mattering is contingent upon your competency and your ideas, and you actually not being a retard, and you being intelligent, being able to convey your ideas in a certain way. Like, there's a reason why people listen to certain people, because they're like, okay, this guy has good tonality, he's able to speak, he's able to convey himself. No one wants to listen to a bumbling idiot stutter all day like Peter Thiel.
Okay, yeah, that's true. I do agree with that. People have to know how to form their words to get to people who they want to reach.
Absolutely.
And I do agree with that. But I think the fact that what you're spreading, you're the reason why men are the way they are today and why it's so hateful still towards women. That's why feminism exists, because we're tired of being raped, we're tired of being hit, we're tired of being at the lower bottom of the food chain. And if for you for some reason that's like a problem, because obviously you think we shouldn't have the same rights, you think we shouldn't be equal.
Yeah, I think women need to go back to being second-class citizens, if we're going to be honest. I don't think you guys should have the right to vote either, because you guys tend to put idiots in office.
Idiots in office?
You guys do realize that if we had to rely on the female vote, Kamala Harris would be president of the United States right now. Do you guys understand that? Like, we'd be fucking cooked. And that's what happens when you let women get into positions of power.
Well, when men are positioned of power, they cause wars.
Actually, they've done a study on this, and it's women are more likely to cause wars when in a position of power.
But how many wars have been started by men?
Well, men obviously have been the leaders of majority of the time,
Okay.
but when women are in positions of power, they're more likely to start wars. Actually,
That doesn't even make sense.
Yes.
You're not even on the basis to prove that, because you guys haven't allowed women to be in positions of power.
I'm
until
saying
very
when they
recently.
have been in positions of power, they're more likely to create wars.
That
And you know what the
doesn't
other
make
part is too? That's funny. Women actually prefer to be under male authority. Like when they polled women, would you rather work for a man or a woman? Most women actually prefer to work for men versus working for women, because the problem with women is that when you guys have your little circles and everything else like that, like you guys have like this weird beef and stuff like that, where you guys don't really convey your ideologies to each other. It's like, oh, I don't like her because she's pretty, so like you guys lie to each other all the time. For example, girls will go out, like let's say you guys are gonna go to the club, right? And like there's one fat girl in the group and she's wearing a dress and she looks like shit. You guys will sit there and be like, oh, like put on this dress because it'll look better. When in reality, you just don't want to tell that she looks fat and you guys are going to get in. Like with men, it's not the same. We're around each other. Hey, dude, you look like a fag. Change. We got to fucking get in here, whatever. Like men are honest with each other. Women aren't, right? And that's a problem. And that bleeds into many other different things.
Yeah, I do agree that women being fake towards each other is a problem because the only way we'll advance or be better or get tired of all this bigotry and hatred is the fact
Bigotry
that
is
if we
good.
work together.
Bigotry is good.
Why?
Because it identifies problems a lot of the time so you can recognize pattern and then, put yourself in a position where it's like, damn, I'm walking down the street right now. It's 4 black guys. I'm going to cross. You know what I mean? Or, I'm around an Indian guy. He probably is dodging deodorant this week. Let me go this way. Right? Or, it's just like, let me hide my pennies. I'm around a Jew. Like, it's good to be able to be a bigot and identify patterns. Like, it's good. Like, I'm obviously being funny here a little bit, but the reality is, like, pattern recognition is good. I'll give you an example. Like, as you were coming up to the mic, you were very polite and everything else like that. Nice, voice, whatever. So you're, like, beating stereotypes. But normally girls that look like you are like, well, what you talking about?
Oh, no. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
It's the truth.
We are not being racist on this. No.
Racism is the reality.
Yes, it is a reality.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make it okay.
I would argue that it's actually
And it's crazy
racism
that you're
is good.
arguing against bigotry and stuff when you yourself are, I don't know what your race is or anything, but you obviously have darker skin. So obviously, even when you're walking down the street, people are going to judge you. You are not the top of the food chain that you think. Above you are white men. And even now, when you're preaching to them, they'll be like, oh, yeah, I get it, but they still don't like you because of what you look like.
So here's the thing that I really like that you said that. So here's the thing, right? What I've realized with men is men typically operate on competency and meritocracy. So in other words, if a guy's competent and he's doing what he's supposed to do and he's successful, other men respect that regardless of skin color. Because men, we are hierarchical, women are not. You guys are based on like, oh, who's the prettiest and who's cool. Like, you guys are not like us when it comes to status, right? Or understanding meritocracy. Like, men are value-based. For example, with a group of men, it's like, okay, this guy's the most competent. He's going to be a leader. We have fucking identified roles immediately. There was a show called Bear Grylls, right? Like Survivor, where they had men on an island and women on an island. The men quickly assimilated into groups, figured out who was the most competent at what, had fire built, shelter built, clean water, etc. The women, on the other hand, almost fucking died because they didn't want to go ahead and kill a pig. They were bitching about other things. I don't want to do this, blah, blah. So in other words, it was pandemonium. They couldn't figure shit out. So the point is, regardless of skin color, a lot of the times, when it comes to men, we understand and respect talent. This is why some of the most racist guys will still acknowledge and be like, yeah, Michael Jordan was cool. Because men respect competency regardless of skin color. Women don't, though, a lot of times. You guys are based on some other weird shit. So despite the fact that you're saying like, oh yeah, these people are racist or whatever, the racism is fine. I don't give a shit about that because it's always going to exist. I look at it like this. Prove them wrong. Prove them wrong. Don't be the stereotype. You're doing a good job of it right now. You're not being the Shaniqua that normally black women are. So that's great.
Okay, sure, whatever. And I think that's just not okay to say. Obviously, people are raised.
Everyone here was thinking it when you walked up to the mic. They thought you were going to be like on some Shaniqua shit. Why do you think they were going, oh?
Okay, actually, it also depends on where you were raised. Hood or people who live in like the project or things like that, they are systematically kept to stay there. That's why people are selling drugs. That's why that's what they have to do to live because the government doesn't give them an opportunity to advance or be who they want to be. So you'll stereotype.
I think it's the culture. I don't think it's necessarily. I think it's a problem culture. I think there's also like genetics involved in it to a degree. Who is the congresswoman, a black one? What's her name? She practiced a lot of niggerism. What's her fucking name? What's her name? The idiot that always. She comes from a rich, affluent area.
Are you black?
Yeah, I am. She comes from a rich. Even if I wasn't, it doesn't matter. Anyway,
it does matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It does matter.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
It's a
Obviously,
word.
you haven't been. Have you been affected by racism
What's
before?
What's the fucking Congress? What is it? Jasmine Crockett. Bam. She comes from an affluent area. She talks like a fucking retard. She goes out and adheres to all the stereotypes, despite the fact that she didn't come from that. Why? Because it's culturally cool to be rude, obnoxious, loud, talk in a way where you're, destroying the English language and using Ebonics. She doesn't come from that. But why is she doing that? To go ahead and get her constituents to think that she's the same, when she doesn't come from that. So we have a culture problem when it comes to the black community. Being a nigga is considered being cool. And I'm here to say it's not cool.
It's not cool on what term? Like in the terms of America or whatever?
Joining a gang, speaking like an idiot, not understanding the English language, cutting words off, saying like ax instead of ask, right? Listening to hip hop music, being a whore, shaking ass, twerking. These are all black culture things that are a problem.
All races can do all of those things.
What was that?
All races can do all of those things.
Yeah, but it's black culture that promotes it the most.
How is that true?
So isn't it crazy how like black people get mad at you if you like, you know, talk about hip hop? That's our culture. And then I'm like, all right, well, that's your culture. No, how do you know it's not our culture? This is literally what black people talk about all the time. As a matter of fact, a lot of black activists will get mad if white people rap. They'll say, oh, he ain't one of us. Actually, as a matter of fact, we're going to talk about racism. Blacks are some of the most racist people, if we're going to be honest.
I do agree that there is a big problem with racism in the black culture, especially towards other people of color. I do agree that is a really big problem. But that still doesn't make racism to other people okay.
It's a reality.
I know it is a reality, and that's why people fight it. That's why we try to make
I look at it like it's a reality. People aren't going to not be racist. It's your job to prove the stereotypes wrong because the stereotypes are always going to exist. Like, I don't get mad because the reality is people are always going to not going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Like, they're going to assume certain things about you. And that's fine. It is what it is. It's life. Like, we're going to assume Muslims are terrorists. We're going to assume blacks are criminals. We're going to assume Jews, like, run America and they subvert their government. We're going to assume, you know, black women are annoying and loud. Like, white people can't dance and their chicken doesn't fucking get seasoned. Like, we're just going to go ahead and assume these things. It is what it is. That's just the reality. Everyone has negative stereotypes. It's your job to prove the stereotypes wrong.
Oh yeah, I do agree with you on that point. I think it's good to prove stereotypes wrong, but I also don't think it's good for you to belittle people who fit the stereotypes.
I think it's good to belittle them that fit the stereotype. That's how you get them to change. That's another thing that we don't have. We need to bring back shaming.
I do agree.
Yeah, and bullying.
No, because bullying
Shaming
leads
is
to
bullying.
suicide.
Shaming is bullying.
Bullying leads to suicide.
I mean, here's the thing. People are soft nowadays.
We're not software aware.
No, they're soft.
People will talk about us being too woke, but now we just have more information and we're allowed to speak our opinions like I'm doing right now. We're allowed to speak our opinions.
Bullying is one of the best things that can happen, especially to men. It forces you to adapt. It forces you to go to the gym. It forces you to become stronger. It forces you to become not a retard. It forces you to become better. Like, I talk all the time. Like, for example, me, I was bullied as a kid, right? Me and one of my good friends, his name was Jordan Reed, right? He used to play for the 49ers. We grew up together. His brother, Brandon Reed, who ended up, you know, getting a Super Bowl ring, etc., he used to bully us all the time. We used to get beat up. We couldn't beat them in basketball, but what did we do? We went in practice and we went to the basketball court to train to try to get better, and we eventually won a game against them. But we only did that because we had, you know, the fire in our ass to become better. Men need to be challenged. They need to be beat up a little bit. They need to take the L's. This is why, if we're going to be honest, like a lot of these movies aren't doing so well. Like these Marvel movies or these movies where it's the hero's journey and we're putting like women in it. Like the reality is like it's men that have to become the winners. It's not like men have to go through the hero's journey. It's not women, right? That's why Captain Marvel, no one gave a fuck. Like, oh, you get your powers from the beginning. This is gay. Nobody cares. So like all these woke movies are losing because it doesn't adhere to reality. The underdog, the guy that wins at the end after getting their asses whooped. It's a masculine journey. Men need to get bullied and deal with adversity to grow stronger.
I think that could be applied to everybody of every gender.
Well, I would say for men even more so. I wish women bullied each other more, but you guys don't. That's why a lot of you guys are fat.
I got bullied by my sisters a lot when I was younger, but they just helped me be like a better person.
Well,
I don't think saying that's like okay, because a lot of bullying, especially nowadays, now that people are just, they'll just say whatever they want, bullying leads to a lot more rates of suicide. And you know who the most suicide people are? Men. Because men get bullied by other men, and they think the only way they have to do this if they can't change is to kill themselves.
Yeah, it's because we live in a soft world.
And you continue to support that
It's because we live in a
ideology.
soft world where we don't tell guys that bullying is a rite of passage. We tell them, no, you should not be bullied. It's okay for you to be a depressed pussy. It's okay for you to be mediocre. It's okay for you to be broke. It's okay for you to be a skinny stick and be a fucking bitch. Like, we tell guys it's okay to be mediocre, but if we told them, look, you getting bullied is a rite of passage. Hazing is good. Getting your fucking stripes is good. Like, this is what we need to tell men instead so they become stronger and they don't become weak. And here's the thing, too, that you guys got to understand. It's the women that suffer from this. As these guys become softer and softer, and they don't want to ask you out on dates, or they tell you, let's go 50-50 or all this other bullshit, who ends up losing? You guys lose because the men are weaker and don't want to do their jobs. So at the end of the day, weak men lead to hard times.
That's not true. I think you're preaching about what women want, but you're not a woman. And you'll see like, every woman wants this, every woman wants this. First of all, every woman is different, every person is different.
Women are far more rigid in what they want than men are. Way more.
What do you mean by that?
Women are far pickier than men are. And they want very similar things.
I don't think that's true. That's just from my personal experience. I don't think that's very
Okay, look, see, we want to lie here and beat around the bush. The reality is that women want guys that are over 6 feet tall. They want the guy that's in shape, a guy that's competent, a guy that makes a lot of money. They want these things. Like, women are far more rigid and selective in their mating process than men are. So women will sit there and say, I care about personality and friendship. Yeah, that's assuming everything else is met that they don't want to talk about because they don't want to be looked at as surface level and shallow. But the reality is the things that women are looking for are pretty fucking standard, and they're just not honest about it.
Well, I think everybody has their preferences. Like, what they want in a person is just who most people just want, a good person. And when you're a good person, then there are more opportunities for you than just for
they've done
hating
studies on this.
people.
The variance in like what women find attractive versus what men find attractive. Women are
based
far
on
more
physical-
narrow.
women are based
and
on
all the
physical
guys have the
appearances
same
than men.
archetype pretty much. Like versus for men, we're way more open with what we're attracted to. Women are not.
That is very much not true. All men must have the same preference, and it's already.
All right, let's go to the next person
physical-based.
because we're short for time.
So I know I'm short for time, so I do apologize
Yeah,
to
go
anyone.
ahead. I didn't
wanting
realize
to go
like the
next.
time flies when you're having fun. You're triggering people.
But I just kind of want to get into more of a perspective into who you are. So, like, what's your educational background?
I have a bachelor's degree from Northeastern University.
Okay.
In Boston, Massachusetts.
In what?
Criminal justice.
Okay, so the things that you're speaking about, specifically when it comes to like women and biological differences, those are not within your specialty, correct?
You have to be a genius to say 1 + 1 is 2.
Right. Okay. Once again, your degree is in political science, yes. Yet you're speaking of
Criminal
what
justice,
is
but that's fine. She's not
my
listening.
apologies. Criminal justice. But the things that you're saying, where women are, quote unquote, like physically weak and all of that other stuff, that
Yes.
you believe is based in science, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then your religious background as well. I wanted to touch on that. So you say that you're not religious, but you grew up in a Muslim household, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I kind of want to understand the connection between these two ideas, where the ideas that you have about women are not based in science, correct? Where you believe your personal beliefs that women should be in the home, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So these ideas come from your religion or that you grew up as.
No, it comes from how human beings have operated since the beginning of time and led to fruitful societies is when women do what they're supposed to do and men do what they're supposed to do.
Okay. So historically, let's talk about that because I am a history major. So let's kind of explore that a little bit. So you're saying that historically men have been in power and that's where their like ideology comes from, correct?
Okay, so based off your argument, I don't even know why we're talking about biology because
Yeah.
you're a history major, so apparently we can't even have this discussion.
Okay, beautiful. Well, let's talk history then. No. Let's talk history. If you believe that's my field, which it is.
The point I'm trying to make is that your argument about, oh, you need to be majoring in something or be an expert in it to be able to comment on it is ludicrous. Biology is biology, reality is reality, and unless you're blind, you should be able to acknowledge realities. Men and women are biologically different. This is a fact.
Okay.
And a lot of the things that I say are based off of how things just naturally work a lot of the times because they tend to work that way.
Naturally work.
So, if you disagree and you think like, oh, well, feminism is great and men or women are equal, that's fine. But it just doesn't work, unfortunately.
Okay, so you believe America is an example of where feminism does not work, correct?
There's a bunch of different societies where it's been failing.
Okay, thank you. But fundamentally, you view women's role and value within the house. Within
Yes,
the house
I think that's where they excel and that's where they should be prioritizing.
and reproduction, correct?
Yes, of having
Okay.
families.
Okay, beautiful. I don't have anything else to say. I honestly just came up here. I didn't come up to debate. I just wanted to learn a little bit more about you and your perspective.
Sure.
So whoever's next.
All right.
Hello
We're on
again.
Rumble, so we can go ahead. So go ahead.
Okay, so I came here at noon. You said come back at 3, and that I was a coward, but I've shown up.
Nice.
So I'm asking you now directly, since you said you would answer it, why do you sympathize with the Nazi Party?
Here's the thing. What I think is, let me give you my position because you don't know my position. My position is simply this. I think that we were lied to about a lot of the things in World War II, and history is written by the victors, not necessarily the losers. And there's some things there that obviously I think are healthy to question, and the fact that we can't question them or that it's illegal in a bunch of different countries is an issue.
Okay, so my next question is, that would be like, I guess, a D or a C grade answer on an assignment.
Well, here's the thing, dude. You asked me, and I'm giving you the answer. Like, you're not the authority on what constitutes as an answer or not. I'm giving you the answer because you want me to say what you want me to say, and I'm telling you what it really is or what my beliefs are.
No, I'm not asking you to say what I want you to say. I'm asking you to just
literally
give me,
what it is.
Please give me an example of what you think was a positive aspect of the NSDAP, please.
That's not my position. I'm telling you that they
you
lied
said this
about.
on your podcast,
That's
man.
not my position. I'm telling you that we were lied to about World War II. Now, look, if you want to go ahead and have this imaginary debate with what you think my position is, that's fine. You can do that on your own. ChatGPT would do a fantastic job.
What I'm telling you is simply this. Nick Fuentes
They
then,
lied.
Man?
What?
What was the whole conversation with Nick Fuentes then?
What about it? Nick is a good guy. He's a good friend.
Yeah, and you joked about like the aspects of the Holocaust, and you said that there were some positive aspects to the Nazi Party. So, like, can you just give me one of those positive aspects?
So here's the thing. Hitler, for example, they burned the fucking books of the tranny shit. That's a W. And then also on top of that, this is irrefutable. Hitler saved Germany after World War I with the Versailles Agreement. This is a fact. They became an economic powerhouse from the after World War I up until the 30s. So the reality is this. Look, we've been told a lot of things about Hitler. What I'm telling you is that he saved this country, and that's a fucking irrefutable fact. Every historian will even tell you this.
Country?
Now, but what?
What do you mean this country? Which country did he save?
Germany.
So are you a German?
I meant to say his country. Germany.
Okay.
He saved his country.
Okay. I mean, I guess that gives me something to work with, but like...
Yeah, see,
cool,
the thing
thanks,
is, like,
man.
you're trying to get on a gotcha thing, and you can't do it because the facts are simply the facts. Hitler saved Germany. This is like history that no one here knows about because Hitler bad no matter what. But he saved this country after the Versailles Agreement. Also, on top of that, this whole like...
If Hitler saved Germany, what happened to the Nazi Germans?
Well, they lost World War II.
So he didn't save Germany?
No, he did, because after World War I, they were cooked. The Versailles Agreement literally had them at one of the worst positions economically ever. They couldn't even buy a loaf of bread.
Basically everywhere else in the world, including the United States. So
what was that?
That was basically the case everywhere in the world besides Germany, like including the United States, included Italy, it included the Soviet Union. So why is it specifically Germany that you're harping on?
Again, because he saved Germany after World War I. It was literally in a financial collapse. The Versailles Agreement was destroying them. They couldn't even buy bread.
I'm going to hit you with a
Deutschmark was
Peterson
worth
define
nothing.
save.
And that's a fact. What was that?
I'm going to hit you with the Peterson here. Define save.
What?
Could you please define save?
Well, if he had not come in and rose to power, Germany would have fell.
I mean, it did fall in 1945.
Yeah, but he came in and stopped them from falling and increased their livelihood for another 20 years, damn near.
Hitler becomes the chancellor in, 1933? That's when he becomes chancellor of the Reichstag. So that's only about, 12 years?
A decade, something like that. Yeah, still extended the livelihood of Germany for a significant amount of time. The National Socialist Party did a lot for Germany to save them from economic collapse. Like, here's the thing, dude. Look, I don't know what it is. Maybe you have like a boner, like you like Hitler bad, everything.
No, it's not
and
really
that's
that.
fine.
I just really enjoy history, and so I wanted to get your perspective
And
on it.
that is the history. He saved Germany after World War I. That's a fact.
That's
you
cap.
can't refute that.
What do you mean? How could I refute that,
You
dude?
just
You're
admitted
lying.
a second ago that he kept it going for another 12 years. That's by definition saving the country.
No, it's not. It still fell, man.
What?
Because of Hitler. Okay, this is like ridiculous. Hitler.
Had he not stepped in,
Hitler who institutes
they would have
the
fallen sooner.
I'm sorry.
Had he not stepped in, they would have fallen sooner.
It's because of Hitler's policies of annexing other countries like Austria and Czechoslovakia, and then the invasion of the Soviet Union in 1941 that Germany
Yeah, that was a big
ultimately
L.
falls.
He shouldn't have tried to do that.
So then he didn't save Germany.
He did. He saved it for a period of time. Based on where they were going after World War I, they were in a really bad spot. He turned things around. So look, your thing is like, they need to save them into perpetuity.
The UK was suffering, France was suffering, the United States was suffering. They all turned it around as well. Like, why does it have to be Germany? Why can't you say, like,
guy, man.
Okay.
Because like you're just sitting here just like trying to argue when the reality is you can't
You
refute what
asked
I'm
me to
saying.
ask a question.
So now you're moving the goalpost and you're saying, oh well, he didn't save them forever. He saved them for like 10 plus years. That's not enough. Like the fact is the fact. He did. You don't like that. So now you're changing the goalpost.
Okay, I think everyone here
You're
can
moving the
agree
goalpost.
that this was kind of wasted space.
You didn't win anything, dude. Like you literally just
I'm
moved
not
the goalpost.
suggesting. I am not
You didn't win
suggesting I
anything.
won. I am not
Because you asked
suggesting
the
I
same stupid
won.
question last time. You're going off the fucking Jewish fables of like the Holocaust, 6 million. All
I
this other
didn't
shit.
ask anything about Jews,
No, but
man.
that's what you,
I asked
that's
about
what you tried
Germany.
to ask last time. That's what you tried to ask last time. What's your position on this? You're trying to get a gotcha moment, but the reality is, you can't dispute what I'm saying. It's the truth. He did save Germany, even though it was for a finite amount of time. But that's how it goes. Based on where they were going, they would have fell way fucking sooner.
All right, then I will finish with this. If you're interested in learning the actual history of Germany, take modern European history in the history
This guy's hand is
department.
shaking. He can't even fucking stand on what he's saying.
Yeah, it's
like,
kinda,
like, dude, this is the problem,
man. I'm
See,
surrounded by a whole bunch of people. I'm talking to you directly. It's
yes.
kind of nerve-wracking.
Yeah,
you know?
it's nerve-wracking. I can see, but like the thing is that
you at least get to sit down behind a table.
What does that have to do with anything?
I mean, you're not standing up. You're not like.
What does standing up have to do with it? Like that?
This is podium shit, man. I could hide if I were behind a podium.
But what I'm saying is that the reality is you came in trying to get a gotcha moment. You lost. You changed. You had to change the goalpost because Hitler bad. We live in this puss-ass society where literally anybody is considered bad because of certain history written a certain way. The truth is they saved this country, and you don't like that because you want to run around and say Hitler bad, Hitler bad, Hitler bad. Like I'm able to go ahead and look at history from another lens and be like, well, maybe this wasn't all the way there, or maybe they're lying about this, or maybe they're sensationalizing this. I'm able to go ahead and exercise some critical thinking and not go off of the fucking narrative that, the mainstream media runs with every single time, where it's like, oh, we need to believe everything we were told about World War II, everything there. You can't question it. 6 million Jews, like that's what it is. No less, no maybe more, but no less at all. And if we do, you're gonna go to jail if you question that. My thing is I'm an independent thinker and I'm able to question certain things, and I don't go off the mainstream narrative, and that's how we find truth. Not listening to historical narratives that people like you perpetuate and spew all the time, saying this is the correct history. Fuck your history. How about that one? Because there's history out there that people don't want to talk about because certain people control the narrative, aka Jews, right? Where they want to go ahead and maintain this fucking narrative. You know what's also interesting too? Let's go ahead and talk about this. Right now, the state of Israel is saying that the amount of people that died in Gaza isn't true. They're denying the fucking starvation. They're denying the amount of people that died. They're denying their fucking atrocities, right? Doesn't that sound familiar to what's going on or what happened with the Holocaust? Isn't that interesting? How they're going ahead, even though we can see this fucking genocide in 4K, that they're lying and saying like, no, bro, we're not starving anybody. Netanyahu going on interviews with the retarded milk boys saying that we're not starving anyone, even though we see kids with their fucking ribs out. So look, guess what? I am going to be questioning the very people that have the ability to lie to us right now with 4K cameras based on what they did damn near 100 years ago. So I will question that.